Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms. Welcome to this reading. We will see some 5 key moments in your life in the future. They will not be in a specific order, but there will be some major things that we can see already. And I will be getting you a lot of clarifiers, tarot and oracle, and we'll get into some astro dice at the end as well. So there's a lot to get through. We have pile 1 over here, pile 2, and pile 3, and pile 4. So make sure to choose with your intuition. If you're not sure how to engage it, the video in the ribbon above will walk you through it. Once you've made your choice, the reading for you will be in the timestamps in the description box in the comment below. Whenever you're ready, we will get started. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. We will see what top 5 key moments there are in your life here. These would be kind of counting the more major shifts, and we will go at them one by one. I've already shuffled the major points and then we will clarify them, and I will also get you an oracle card for each. So I'm really excited to get into it, do a deep dive over here. Probably get you some charms as well. We will see. Okay, I might be overshooting here, but we'll see what we get. All right, so the first key moment we have for you is the sun, which is the most positive, more optimistic and successful cards within the tarot. It's a major arcana, and it means that it's a large life theme, and also indicates that it's a larger life cycle. So it's not like one quick moment which becomes profound, but rather something over time. There is longevity as well that I'm hearing. But let's clarify and see what exactly it is specifying for you. Pile 1 viewers, please. The first key moment in their lives, in their future. The sun, let's clarify what that means for them, please. Let's clarify the sun. It also symbolizes happiness, success, feeling connected with life in general, feeling light, buoyant. Nice. We have the 7 of Wands coming up first, which indicates self-empowerment as well, a rise in self-esteem, personal leadership. We have the Star coming through next, and let's see, what do we have? Page of Cups. That's very nice. Generally a very optimistic view here. There can be a sense of achievement. This can come through a leadership position, but not necessarily. The Star indicates that certain wishes are being manifested, and more likely your large wishes, your greatest hopes and aspirations. It can be that you're manifesting it yourself, or they're just coming about as a result of your actions, thoughts, and just consistent focus on something. Very nice. We have the King of Wands coming up, which is an entrepreneurship card. It indicates that you have a lot of personal drive and charisma, and that you are very charming to other people as well. So you're definitely very approachable as a result of this, which indicates that you are becoming prominent in some way. If you already have a business, this can indicate that you are someone that others look up to, and you feel very comfortable and happy with this positioning. We have the Justice coming through first. For some people, it could be just the legalization or making your business official, or even a relationship official could be something that you're manifesting here, right? So in whichever way that you're being focused, you're kind of creating a lot of abundance for yourself through your words, thoughts, and actions. Page of Cups can also indicate a romantic connection. Perhaps with the 7 of Wands, you are sticking up to your standards. You're not selling yourself short. You're trying to attract an equal partner, a balancing influence in some way, and you are doing so successfully. And that is a major moment of happiness, joy, and kind of long-term bliss over here as well. You're very proud of yourself for sticking up to your standards and staying true to yourself. There is an innocence that is coming through. The Sun and also the Page of Cups can represent this childlike spirit. So for some of you, having a child could be something you're wanting with a partner who is rightfully your partner, really. And it can be that you're feeling successful in that regard. You might be kind of manifesting the most beautiful child ever, if that's something that you're wanting here. Yes. Also, you're feeling very protected in this stage. So there is a sense of, empowerment in the terms of boundaries as well, who you allow and who you don't allow into your space and your vibe. Also, you can accept valid criticism and you transform any criticism that others have into a strength of yours. So nothing phases you really. You can't really phase the sun except, you know, by temporary clouds. So temporary problems, like, okay, so we're going to deal with that, but the sun is still there, right? That just doesn't disappear. All right, let's get you some oracle card for the first key moment in pile 1's future, please. Can we get some clarification with the oracle, please? Pile 1 viewers. All right. Let me flip these over. All right. So we have bliss is worth creating from. Definitely you're manifesting a lot of joy and long-term happiness here. There is, really, this is really a blanket statement. I don't know what we have in the others, but this already looks excellent, right? There could be some creative things that you're getting involved in, and you are working with other people perhaps, and that could be the justice card too. We have cut the cords of doubt, which, I did sense that feeling of pride, you know, that I'm really proud of myself for overcoming these fears and these challenges, and I no longer respond to doubt. And that's why I said, even when someone gives you a valid criticism, you don't take it personally anymore, because you're really sure of what you have to contribute. And of course, everybody can keep improving. It doesn't mean that the person themselves are not good, right? So it's kind of that vibe coming through. You're liberating yourself from old conditioning or shackles as well. The sun as well is the ultimate liberation in that way. You're really connecting with your inner child in some cases. Even if you are having children, they could really remind you of your own child self. So you connect internally and also externally in that regard. And that helps you free yourself from certain limitations that were in the backdrop of your mind, but were having a very conscious influence to kind of eradicating that influence if it doesn't make sense for you anymore. Yes, we do have soul on fire. I was going to say the child self, and also the sun represents the spirit, the soul, kind of being connected with your higher self as well, is coming through. All right, so let's get into the second key moment here for you. I'm going to remove these. Actually, I don't need to. Let me just leave them right here. Yeah, it might get a little bit messy, but you know, it's okay. Let me just overlay them. Yeah. All right. So the second key moment we have is the shadow. Wow. All right. So we have the sun and then we have the shadow. Interesting. The first thing I'm hearing is you're integrating the shadow. So you're becoming aware of what lies in there. And like I was saying, the preconceived notions, insecurities and fears, also previous conditioning that have kind of granted you certain strengths, but also certain difficulties or suppressions. So let's clarify the shadow for pile 1 viewers. That's the second key moment. You might be doing some shadow work as well. Okay, we have the High Priestess coming up first. Let's get some more and then we'll talk about it. Pile 1, the shadow, please. Let's clarify that. Is their second key moment. We have the 7 of Cups, all right, with 7 of Wands in the previous one, 7 of Cups over here. Yeah, I'm hearing floating thoughts. Floating thoughts. All right, Page of Swords. We had Page of Cups before, Page of Swords here. And let's get some more, 2 more cards, please, to clarify the shadow. Yeah, these are some subconscious or unconscious fears. We have the devil coming up, which is the same as the shadow. So that's being further emphasized. And one more, please. One more. Yes, too many. One more card, please, for the shadow. I'm getting a sense of awareness of the shadow. We already talked about it. Yep. There we go. We have the Hanged Man coming up. Really rich card over here, okay? So this is going to be absolutely a very important moment in your life as well. Again, a major arcana, so it can talk about a long period of time. Of course, if we have some toxins, whether they're emotional or physical or whatever, it does take some time to fully be done, right? Because it's not just about us getting over a situation. It can be about that situation itself dissolving, which requires for some time and patience, depending on all the people that are involved or the circumstance that we are in at that time. But regardless, there is a very deep knowing and understanding of what holds you back, and then that really makes you stronger and wiser, because the whole point of the devil is not really to hold you captive. Okay, not really. It's to show us where we hold ourselves captive, and then we kind of blame it on the others. That's where the victim mentality is. That's where we say, oh no, we are, being bullied by outside circumstances and other people over there. Also, we don't have time, we don't have resource, we don't have blah, blah, blah. All the excuses that we make to not do something that we know would be fulfilling for us. And by doing so, we sabotage ourselves and our own growth and fulfillment. That's what shadow is. The devil is not coming here to do something to you in any way. Okay, so whenever we get this card, it's really that certain challenges that already exist are surfacing and are coming to your conscious mind from the subconscious so that it can be dealt with. The point of the shadow is to be integrated into the light. Why would a shadow want to be recognized? Because the moment it gets recognized, there is light on it. There is a knowing and awareness of it, right? If it did not want to be heard or known about, then it would forever stay in the shadow. You would not even know it existed, right? So it desires, your fears desire some acceptance or some other coping mechanism that is not, sweeping things under the rug or kind of delaying it for some later processing or blah, 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 whatever it is, however it is that you do things. Everyone does it kind of differently. So the devil coming up twice indicates that you are you're triumphant over certain obstacles that have kept you stuck. And this can come in a moment of a meditation. Perhaps you're taking that very seriously at some point in your life, and you're also hanging back. This can also come through a vacation of sorts. The hangman and the high priestess indicates that you're taking a pause from everyday life. So it can be a year of sabbatical, for example, if that applies, or you might be taking a gap year in some regard, depending again on your situation. But regardless, there is a point in your life where there is a pause, and that pause brings about new perspectives and new thoughts and feelings about yourself, your past, and things like that. That it might seem like everything is coming up at once, but it's, again, there is a purpose to that. Also, during this moment, your intuition is really, really heightened. One last thing about the devil is that it corresponds with the Capricorn vibe. So yes, I was mentioning how it's, you have to deal with the tougher emotions or ones that just take some time and endurance to get through. It's not really something you get over in a day or a month or so. But at the end of it, you become stronger, you become very wise, and you become extremely experienced, such that no fears in the future have that much of an effect. It's like if you have multiple awakening experiences, it can be that the first one feels like, whoa, what just happened? Because you didn't even know that a world like that existed. We would go about our everyday lives and activities, and the first time that we meditate really with good focus and we are kind of ready and prepared for it, it can feel so enriching and fulfilling the first time, but as you keep doing it, becomes second nature, right? It's sort of that quality where once you do the shadow work in the beginning, it might feel a little bit like, whoa, this is uncomfortable because I've not done this before. But once you do it, the second time gets easier, and the third time is like, okay, so I have this fear. You don't attach to the fear anymore. You don't think that that is a part of your identity necessarily. It is a part of you, sure, yes, but it does not have to be you. That's not the part of you that runs the show or runs your life in any way. It's a facet, sure, But as long as we have that objective viewpoint of just looking at it, appreciating it for what it is, or at least dealing with it from a more objective viewpoint, we can very easily cope with the devil energy. And that's what I'm getting with the Hangman and the High Priestess, where you're not aloof. You are aware of what is going on, but you're not personally identifying yourself with it. Okay, so if there is a difficult quality that you struggle with, let's say impatience, okay, because we're talking so much about patience, let's say that you struggle with impatience. And in this situation, then you would be, instead of saying I'm a bad person or I'm horrible, I suck at what I do and so on because I'm impatient, you just say, okay, so a little bit more patience would be very helpful in doing a better job. That does not diminish your potential in any way. That does not disrespect you as a person in any way. You can still admit the flaws that are there and still be an amazing person. You know, you can still have awesome skills. The devil by nature indicates that you have a lot to give. You have a lot of skills, and there might be latent abilities, latent potentials that hide behind certain shadows. So shadow work is not only important to get rid of certain fears which stop us, but also to uncover more skills and talents that are hidden beneath the surface, which would be highly beneficial to us to get to know, because it can really change the trajectory of the way that we live life and how fulfilled that we feel. The Page of Swords indicates you might be learning or reading a lot, you might be thinking a lot, and also communicating about it. If you feel comfortable with certain people, to get to know different perspectives and different viewpoints on certain problems. For example, you might ask, how do you go with the flow? How are you so patient? You know, you might ask these questions to someone else, hoping to get a different set of answers than what you alone could think of, to bring you a newer kind of belief system or attitude to cultivate yourself. Seven of Cups can indicate that you have a lot of choices. There can be a feeling of overwhelm with choices, and having to make a very calculated decision it can be a thing here, and that's where you might have some difficulty. I don't remember the exact name, but there is like a choice paralysis, something of that sort. Could come up many options or many choices, many ideas you might have, and you're like, okay, and now I feel stuck again because I don't know which way to go. Seven of Cups can also indicate that you are daydreaming, or what do I say? Yeah, I'm really feeling that you kind of split in many directions. Perhaps you're learning how to manage your time and resource, and there's like a lot of busyness going on, and that's why you need a sort of break, and those break moments are extremely profound, and that helps you in managing all the various other activities you have going on at this time. It feels like a busy moment, but at the same time quiet. I'm not really sure if you are wanting the quiet or the quiet is and you're wanting something a little bit more busy. But regardless of the practical situations, you are definitely thinking a lot in this phase of life. You're recalibrating as well. Yeah, you might be making a lot of different choices through your recognitions and epiphanies that happen in this phase. Seven of Cups can indicate you're making some lifestyle changes, which includes your exercise, the place you live, the air you breathe, the time you get up, the food you eat, the things you wear, the work you do. Like, there's so many facets to this, right? So it can feel a little bit overwhelming that perhaps there are many different things that need to be fixed, but go at it one by one. That's literally the best way to deal with the devil energy. We need to go at it one by one. It's a Capricornian vibe. Slow and steady will always win the race. That's the mantra over here, and that's what gets you to success. Yes. Pisces and Capricorn are some strong vibes coming through here. Perhaps you could be these zodiacs, or you might be attracting people who are like this. Yes. All right. So let's get some oracle cards for this phase. The second key moment for pile 1 viewers. Please, let's clarify with some oracles. Pile 1 viewers. Okay, 2 more cards, please. Let's go 2 more. Oh my goodness, we literally have, what does your soul say? Yes. We had a soul on fire underneath this as well. I would not be surprised if this comes before the sun. Okay, I did not shuffle in sequence of when what will happen. So yes, we're gonna just have to piece the puzzle together right now. One more card, please, for pile 1 viewer. Second key moment, clarifying the devil. Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, so first card that fell out was manifesting and doing. Wow, all right. Yes, this is the phase where we might, again, struggle with certain self-doubts. And we do have cut the cords of doubt in the previous one, so I'm really inclined. The moment I saw the shadow card, actually, I was thinking, maybe this comes before the sun. But yes. All right, so manifesting and doing is putting in the action, putting in the work, but also having your thoughts and feelings geared in that direction. So you have to really want to do something for you to be able to do something. That really want, that's what creates that willpower, the drive, and gives you motivation even when times look bleak, right? So this indicates that you're tapping into that inner power, that resource that is always endless, because you're a spiritual being, especially when times are tough or when you are going through some personal transformations yourself. That's when we find this upsurge in spiritual energy, because we need to be protected, we need to be sent certain guidances and messages, and our spirit becomes a little bit more personally involved in this whole circumstance. So it kind of feels as though there's some soul searching that you're doing, and you're recalibrating and gearing yourself towards different life choices in this phase of life. And you're feeling extremely empowered by this. The yellow and the blue indicates that you are aligning with your truth. You're being very honest with yourself, not only about you, but also your life in general, the people that you connected with or want to connect with. Page of Swords can indicate that you are taking on a new career path or something new, a new course perhaps you are taking on and learning new skills. And that is kind of the manifestation. You're taking a course, but you're manifesting a different future for yourself. You're opening up many possibilities for you. And that's where, again, when we have too many choices, we need to listen to what our soul says in order to stay aligned. And we also have the distraction of shiny things, which is card number 15, again with the devil here. So letting go of unreliable forces and integrating your shadows once more, integrating things that you know are your potential and you are really good at, whether someone else approves or someone else does not. I mean, that's kind of subjective. So yes, that's, what else? Liberation. This bird over here in this card talks again about the liberation. You're letting yourself feel anchored in a positive way. Okay, even with the devil, it's really anchoring you to something, and then it's a question of, do you enjoy that anchoring or do you not? And at some point, like when you're trying to plant your foundations, for example, anchoring is really necessary. So we need to identify what anchoring is right for us, when what roots need to be let go, and this is kind of that sorting out and clearing space for more potential to come in. Wow, all right, so let's see this third one. We have the Two of Swords. All right, Two of Swords. This is a minor arcana. It can be a moment that you have in the future. So let's clarify this. Get some cards here for pile 1 viewers. Third key moment, Two of Swords. Let's clarify, please. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Chariot, all right. And what else? Clarify the Two of Swords, please. There's a choice point. One choice you make that brings forward a lot. We have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, this indicates some travel. You might make a decision to go somewhere, to relocate even, but so far it looks like a short trip actually. Or some spontaneous communication that comes in and now you're on the go. Let's get 2 more cards please for the Two of Swords. Yeah, we have Two of Wands, which is again talking about choices. One more. Yeah, you might decide to relocate somewhere. We have the Hierophant coming up. All right, so it can be an institute, by the way. You might be torn for a little bit about which university to go to, or which school to go to, or what course to take, or which thing to commit to. Basically, the Hierophant talks about some long-term promises that you make. So it can even be making like your housing official, for example, purchasing something, or signing a long-term rental contract and things like that, where you get a key, you have the opening and the opportunity, but then it's kind of up to you whether you want to go for that opportunity or go for another one. This can be a point when you are comfortable already, all right, but you're craving some sort of excitement. What you have is not inspiring you to the fullest, and you know that there's a lot more experiences out there. That's the moment when you decide this, that you want to explore some other places. The Chariot, Knight of Wands, Eight of Wands, all of them talk about fast movement, and the Two of Wands as well as a fire sign, so it can indicate that you're making quick decisions, quick plans as well. It might not be very logical, okay? So if you share this with others, they might be like, wait, that's a little bit too impulsive, like you've been here forever, are you sure this is safe, are you sure that's the best idea for you, and so on. But to you it just feels right somehow, okay, even if it doesn't make sense, because honestly, if we go by only that metric, we should all be in a very, very safe situation all the time. We should live in the same house, we should be with the same people, we should be in the same company or institute, or be surrounded by the same friends, basically, right? But that's not how things go. That's not what we are inspired by anyway. We can keep our comfort zone for a very long time, but ultimately there comes a point when we're like, okay, this is just not fun anymore, and I want to see what else is out there. There is a surge of excitement, absolutely, in this phase. It's more of an explorative phase. You might not be very tied down at this time by any commitment, and if you already have one, you might think about this is not about a breakup or anything, honestly, but you might kind of separate, or you might decide to go through some different experiences together, which is different from the norm. All right, so perhaps you decide to travel together to unusual places, for example. Wow. All right, this is a little bit mundane, so I'm giving you more everyday examples, but it really talks about these topics. There is a rise in passion and your courage in general. Doing these things, new, unexpected things, stepping outside of your comfort zone and so on, is bringing you a lot of strength and stamina as well. You're really, when we step outside of our comfort zone, the first thought, perhaps it is unconscious, but the thought that arises out of doing such things is, I am more capable than I give myself credit, right? That's the emotion that we're going for here. That's what you're finding here as well. You're also discovering more potential within yourself. You might be uncovering new skills. Also, if you are in a position to teach, then this could be you perhaps doing guest lecturing instead of committing yourself to a particular university or college in any way. And if you, for example, work in a company, then you might be consulting. So you're working with your own accord instead of someone else's. But again, it might not be the most logical choice, because it's obviously safer to just do what someone else says and kind of keep going that way. So yeah, logically might not make sense, but it makes sense for you personally. Very nice. All right, let's get some oracle cards. Key moment number 3, Two of Swords. Let's clarify that with some oracles by the viewers. Okay, we have find your sacred flow. Absolutely, that's what you're trying to do here. You want to feel happy, fulfilled, satisfied, connected with yourself. Yeah, all right. Now this shining light in the Knight of Wands and also the Chariot, that's giving me the indication that there is some epiphany that happens here. Also the lightning strike with the Hierophant, just a sudden moment or realization that just happens. It's very quick, and it might also be very fleeting, but it leaves you with a long-term impression of, I need to do more, or I want to do more. Yeah, not really a need basis, but it's a desire. When we have the sacred flow, it connects with the sacral chakra, and that's about desire and wants. So let's see 2 more cards, please. Yes, so bravely market your magic. Would not be surprised if you kind of charter your own way in a professional sense. But it can also indicate that you're showcasing your skills and talents. You're not hiding them anymore. You're not unsure of your worth anymore. We have get back to elemental. Yeah, you want to start from the basics. You want to build from the ground up. You want to take care of your base desires, basically. Like you want to be happy, you want to be satisfied, you want to also be safe, and so on. So you're kind of thinking of those things here. You can also be connecting with fire, earth, as well. Discovering your roots or wanting to figure out your roots. Some of you could be traveling to some place to discover more of yourself. You're also more naturally connected, so I'm sure you will make the right choice in this case for yourself, right? Because when we're connected to nature, we can also sense more synchronicities and just the epiphanies that come through. They can come through very clearly. Yeah, all right. Very nice. Let's look at number 4. Wow, we have the 4 of Wands. This talks about home and something to celebrate. It's a milestone that is worth celebrating with people that we love and care about. Something worth sharing. So let's see what this is about. Let's clarify the 4 of Wands. Pile 1 viewers, please. What did we get first? Let's see. We have the 9 of Swords. All right. What else? Let's clarify the 4 of Wands. We have the King of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands. All right. 10 of Wands and guessing Page of Wands. Yeah. All right. So this as well is quite an exciting moment, but it can feel a little bit overwhelming. Perhaps you're buying a house too soon. Perhaps you don't feel that secure yet in a financial sense or in just life in general at this time, but you're still making some good headway. Even if there are certain things that are a little bit overwhelming, or perhaps you're not used to these sorts of responsibilities, you're still kind of doing really, really good. You're still having fun. There's a lot of creative space here. This can be that you're going off the previous thing. It can be that you made the choice and now you're establishing something. So this is where there can be some sorts of nervousness of, oh goodness, I made a big choice and now I have to keep this up. I have to uphold a certain standard. I have to establish a foundation so that it keeps giving me a lot of growth and things like that. So there is a lot of responsibility on you. It can be that you are doing a lot of things by yourself, but it's also very exciting for you. Okay, it's like when you enjoy something, it doesn't matter if it is a little bit effort or it takes a little bit of time, because you're just enjoying it and you would do it regardless of whether it required your effort or not. But if you're not enjoying something, even that mundane one single day feels like ages, right? It's sort of the time is relative, effort is relative kind of a scenario that's coming through. So you're enjoying taking up these responsibilities and you're having a lot of fun along the way. You're socializing as well. There might be a lot of people that you're communicating and connecting with. The King of Cups indicates that you're emotionally and spiritually very mature. So other people might be coming to you with their fears and worries as well, because you have some important advice to give. You might be a natural motivator as well, or you're very structured in the way that you deal with your situations in life, regardless of what area we're talking about here. But you're really responding to your strengths in this phase. Very inspiring time. This can also be indicating that you're thinking of having a family. So buying a different house perhaps, or shifting to a bigger house where you can sustain a bigger family here. But the thought about having a family might be a little bit like, ooh, I'm nervous because it's a big choice, but I'm also really excited because it's a big choice and that there is a new chapter that could begin. Because Ace of Wands, Page of Wands, and the King of Cups can indicate fertility and conception as well. The Ten of Wands indicates the taking on responsibility bit. So not surprising if you're taking a big change. There will be some sort of nervousness, but you definitely have a lot of support. You're not in this alone at all in that way. So even if you are doing the work, so to say, you still have so much support around you, emotionally, also mentally, and physically too. If you need help with something, there could be people who are helping out with the responsibilities. All right, let's clarify a little bit more. Key moment number 4 for pile 1 viewers. Collaboration of souls. Yeah, see, you do have help. But this also indicates a major life choice. Corresponds with the Lovers card. And yes, either way, whether you are being supported in your workload or not, you're still making a major choice. And that is making you really excited and happy. You feel more in alignment with what would make you fulfilled. 2 more, please. We have gratitude again. So you're really happy and thankful with everything that comes through. Also, this can be a time where a lot of blessings come in. Your wishes are being granted in this phase as well, but it's more I'm feeling a little bit more material sense, or like your emotional connections. Meanwhile, the first one that we saw was like all of the wishes being granted. All right, 1 more, please. Key moment number 4. Yes, okay, so the edge of evolution feels messy. Exactly, so any change you're trying to make is not really going to go swimmingly. Not that there will be outside obstacles, but that you just have to deal with new things, and that's okay, because what we're working towards is absolutely worth it. All right, now your 5th. Wow, we have the Judgment. I'm loving this reading. I hope you don't mind that this is going a little bit long. I was considering doing like 3 key moments, but then I thought, it's been a while since I've done a deep dive, so let me just do this. So Judgment indicates that liberation card. It is also about being fully aligned with your soul purpose. There is a sense of being free. Okay, you're like really free. This can also indicate an awakening. So let's clarify and see what else it represents for you. Judgment, please. Let's clarify for pile 1, 5th key moment. King of Pentacles, excellent. All right, let's see some more. See what that is. We have Lovers coming up again. You might find your soulmate over here. Also in the previous section we did have that, but in the previous one that indicated that you're creating something more with your partner, if you're looking at it in a romantic context. But it can also indicate that you're aligning with yourself and there is a lot of harmony in your life in this phase. We also have the 10 of Pentacles. Yes, so you can be liberated from detrimental family karma, and you're making way for something a lot healthier. This can also indicate that you're in alignment with creating a new legacy for yourself and for your future generations. We have the 4 of Swords, Queen of Wands, and the King of Pentacles as well. This can be a meditative time or a contemplative time for you as well. There is an awakening that happens. I'm not doubting that anymore. There is a surge of energy that comes through. You feel very, very free and also secure, right? It's you feel very safe to fly and just do whatever makes your heart happy. Do whatever inspires you. We have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, which are 2 very leadership cards. The King of Pentacles is very secure, grounded, and reliable. If this does not describe you, it could be describing the other person that you're with, whether it is romantic or a business context, but it brings you a lot of peace. That union and that harmony just brings you a lot of liberation and joy, gives you some flexibility for you to pursue whatever it is that you want to at that time, and to explore new options, experiment a little bit, discover new things, and so on. Now, the Queen of Wands indicates that you're very charismatic and confident as a person. You're also very magnetic. Both of these court cards, if both are representing you, then they can indicate that you are a person that other people look up to. If you already have a family, it can indicate that other people are coming towards you, and they are looking to you for your experience and guidance. And you just have a lot to offer around this time. And by doing so, you feel fulfilled and happy that you're being of service, or you're being very helpful in a different way than you are accustomed to in the previous phases of your life. That brings you a lot of joy, and it also opens up new ideas of what else you are capable of. The Lovers can indicate that you're learning something new as well. I would say it's more in a spiritual context. So either you're getting some spiritual books and getting into that, or you might be learning straight from the source through your meditative experiences. The times that you are quiet and silent and by yourself, those moments are very profound in this phase. There is also financial security. Twice we are seeing that, and it is your willpower, your talents and skills, and your tenacity to achieve these things is what is making this happen. You're very satisfied in this phase here. Okay, you have the right people, you have your own space, you don't have too much or too little of anything. Let's clarify, please. Oracles for the fifth key moment, Judgment. More cards. All right, thank you. So we have celebrate your wins coming up first. That is the Six of Wands, really winning at something, as it says. There is some pride, and you're being noticed for your abilities. We have Creator Fire. I love a Creator card, by the way. And we have You Are Epic, which is the Emperor energy. So absolutely, with the Queen of Wands, as I was saying, your willpower, your drive, your energy, your charisma, confidence, all of these things is what is attracting you a lot of blessings and abundance in this phase. You feel like you're not limited anymore. This is when you're just absolutely free. You're not dependent on anything. You don't attach yourself to anything, and you have everything, right? That's like the ideal situation to be in. Just looking at this reading, I'm like, oh, I wish this is my reading. All right. This is really ideal, that you have everything, but you're not attached to it. So you just keep on multiplying and keep getting more and more as a result of that. This imagery here is very interesting for me because it indicates you have good boundaries with others, also with yourself, as to what thoughts you take in and what not, what feelings in and out, so on. And that puts you in a stronger position over time. It just feels like an ongoing momentum. When we have Pentacles energies, it's really about momentum. Okay, so you have to build the momentum, and then it keeps on going, and you don't have to monitor it so much. And then again, you're free to pursue other hobbies and interests that you have. Also with You Are Epic, like I said, you're recognizing a deeper part of yourself, which is very talented. You might discover new skills here, latent abilities. We did see that with the shadow work, but this can be where you're really incorporating that side of you. Wow. Emperor energy, really strong. Also, your courage is standing out. People might ask you questions such as, like, how did you have the courage to leave behind that phase? How did you have the courage to deal with such and such fear? Or to go out of your way and to connect with this person? Things like that. By the way, if you are meeting or attracting someone in this phase, what was the previous card? We have Two of Swords, right? You might encounter them very spontaneously along your journeys, in your travels, or through common interests, okay? If you have not met someone already and you want to. But how this person feels to you is very secure and stable. You can really rely on them, and they might be also an influence who is kind of telling you to go ahead and pursue what you want to, and that they can provide, or they are stable enough to manage for the two of you temporarily, and things like that, like no pressure, you go ahead and do what you enjoy, things like that, and that really liberates you. And there is honestly no expectation from this person's side. It seems like they would be very caring, and they're secure, they're like very chill as people. Okay, so that's really nice to know that you will be supported. All right, let's just get you some astro dice and then we're through. Anything else we need to know about the key moments, please? We have Mercury, Taurus in the 11th house. Yeah, there is a good chance that you might be interacting or making new friends, connecting with different people, and that you will have some long-term friendships built over time that's going to be very satisfying for you. Also, it indicates that you're manifesting all your hopes, dreams, and wishes into physical reality, that your thoughts are very powerful, and you can utilize the power of words and thoughts to create even the most unimaginable things, seemingly unimaginable things happen for you. Alright, so that's what I have for you, pile 1. I really hope you enjoyed and that the reading resonated with you. Please let me know your thoughts. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi pile 2, welcome to your reading. We will see your top 5 key moments in your life. We're going to do a bit of a deep dive. We'll get some clarifiers. We'll go at them one by one and also get you some oracle cards and finish off with some astro dice. So let's see what your first key moment is. By the way, they're not in order of occurrence. So yes, we're going to just see them separately and piece them together if they need to be pieced. So the first we have is the Queen of Wands. That's a very excellent card which indicates autonomy, a lot of independence, personal power, and also charisma. You're empowering for other people as well. As you can see, it's denoted by a lion. So there is a lot of courage and stamina that you find in this phase. There can be a lot of achievements you're making. If you want to have a business, this can be an indicator that you're very successful in it, or you're starting out very bravely, courageously, putting your best foot forward and dealing with the obstacles along the way like a champ, basically. So let's see the top key moment. We have the first one for pile 2 viewers. Let's clarify the Queen of Wands. We'll get some more and then we'll talk about it. One more. Okay. So the first card we got was the 10 of Swords. Then we have the Ace of... it is the 10 of Swords, yeah. Alright, the Ace of Swords. Let me just put this here. We have the Knight of Cups, the 7 of Wands, and we have the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so you're very steady and secure in yourself. You could have a lot of savings around this time. You can also be investing in different things. Also, you're doing some creative things on the side. There's like a whole bunch of stuff going on here. And we have this as a minor arcana, by the way. So that means that it's more on an everyday, mundane type of circumstance that we get these cards. So this major or this key moment could be just a phase in life where you're doing certain things day in and day out that is very exciting for you. The Ace of Swords can indicate that you are getting a sort of epiphany or a new idea that just makes you think, wow, that's brilliant, that is gorgeous, and I can't wait to follow up on those things. And that kind of brings about an ending of sorts. Or it can be an ending that happens that leads to a clearing of the air. It can, for example, talk about leaving behind a toxic relationship or a toxic job situation. And even though it's an ending, you're very happy for what is to come next. And what's coming next is a lot of empowerment. You're feeling so strong about yourself, and you know that you're capable of achieving a lot of things. The Seven of Wands indicates that being successful against all odds is what I hear. So no matter what criticism you get or what pushback you might get, you're just not afraid of that anymore. You're listening to your gut instinct, you're paying attention to the ideas that you get, and you are fully willing to develop and invest on those things. Knight of Cups can indicate that there is a passionate romantic relationship that could come about in this time that that helps you up with this courage, kind of reinforces within you the strength that you have. So that can help you out even more to boost you along your journey in whatever that you are attempting. But if this is not talking about another person, and by the way, it does not always have to talk about another person if that's not something you're interested in, but Knight of Cups can talk about your creative spirit. This can also be that you are a benefactor of sorts. You might be a lucky charm for people, so they kind of are automatically magnetized and flocking towards you. So either way, it is very likely that you're creating some new connections. New relationships could be forming here, but you're in a sort of a higher status position in a way. It could be just that you're more knowledgeable, or you have something very different going on, and people find you interesting in that way. So you could be the center of the show, so to say, in some way. But it can also talk about this creative endeavors that you are doing, some business ventures you could be trying out in a creative way, where you're expressing yourself freely. And this can be in terms of literal like artistic illustrations and so on, but it can also be in a more designing sense where there's a theory involved, and you just want to learn a little bit more. So in that way, you're investing in yourself towards some sort of hobby, and that's really exciting you. Let's get some oracle cards and talk a little bit more. First key moment for pile 2, please. Let's talk about the Queen of Wands. Let me get that. Right. Shuffle again. Queen of Wands, please. Okay. Wow. We have fierce serenity, once again represented by the lion, and talks about the strength. Okay. So that relates with Leo. You could have some Leo placements, or you could be attracting a Leo. Or this can be you just stepping up into the Leo vibe, which is all of the topics we talked about in the Queen of Wands. There is a sense of leadership and personal strength and power. You are consciously stepping out of your comfort zones, and you're kind of trying out new experiences here. You could have again saved up for this, so you're able to do this, or you might just get some loans and investments that kind of allow you to have this sort of freedom here. This can also indicate that you're living a little bit humbly if you're kind of leaving behind a situation. You're living a little bit humbly in a financial sense, or you're living in a cozy space and so on, but I don't see you minding that at all. You actually feel very independent and free because of this. All right, what else do we have? One step ahead is all you need. Yeah, exactly. This is with the 10 and the Ace of Swords. It's really feels like a junction point of sorts. It's kind of like just one more step and you're in a whole new chapter, right? One more decision, or just, it can feel as though in that moment that one more thing that goes wrong and I'm out of here. Okay, one more person that pisses me off and then I'm done with this, It can be one of those moments, and it happens very quickly, but you're very sure of what you are doing, and you stick up to that. You commit to yourself, you commit to whatever brings you great clarity and joy in your heart and in your mind. It kind of increases your passions at this point, and you don't have any problem following through with it. There's like no pain, no struggle, no questioning of, oh, did I make the right choice or not? None of that. You're very crystal clear in this phase. So one step ahead is all you need is kind of an affirmation of what's going on in the beginning stage of this particular moment here. We have the now. Yeah, again, talking about it just happens so quickly. It's a decision you make in a flash, and the level of surety you feel is just astounding even to you, but at the same time so powerful. Starts off a raging heart and a raging desire to achieve something or go somewhere, and you're very clear about what your vision is, and the now just indicates that you're putting in the effort right now. You're doing it right now. There is no fantasizing about, okay, so 2 years later I will think about doing that, maybe we'll see where we are in life, and no vagueness, we're not planning for the future, we're not taking care of the past, we're done with it, we're done with the past. Now it's a clean new slate. What do we want to cultivate right now? That's kind of what you're thinking about, and living in that moment, and addressing things that arise in that moment is bringing you so much joy, so much empowerment. You're very, I can't really overstate this, okay? It's very astounding to me as well. The feeling I'm getting is very strong. I mean, not surprisingly, I have so much lion going on. Yes. So others might feel like you have so much courage, and again, that's also a reason why they would be coming to you. Yes, but you're dealing with things as and when they occur. You're not thinking too far ahead. You're just taking it one by one. No rushing, no impatience. You're just very self-assured. Yes. Okay, let's see your second key moment. We have the World. This is graduation or another completion of sorts of a cycle. Let's clarify, see a little bit more what that is talking about. The second key moment, please. The World card. Can we clarify? Can we clarify? Okay, so we have the Chariot. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Ace of Cups. Lovely, lovely. Then we have, let's see, we have the Three of Cups. Amazing. And let's go one more. This one's an interesting one. This is a major arcana, by the way, so that would indicate that it's a bigger chapter of your life, or it is a longer process, but it's also more profound. One card, please. One more clarifier. Yeah, it can be that you're... Let's see. We have the Five of Cups. Okay. Now, one message coming through, I'm just going to get this out of the way, might not be for everyone, okay? So take it as it resonates. But it can be that you are not happy with a partnership that you have right now in a romantic context, especially. This person brings you quite a lot of disappointment, and there could be certain third-party affiliations, things like that, underhanded behavior that could be going on, and you are done with that. That's a very big key moment for you, okay? So if that does not resonate, don't take it. It's not for everybody. All right, now, apart from that, this indicates that you're traveling to some new place in the world, okay? So not somewhere you're familiar with. The World Chariot is like far off places, far off distances. It could even be a different continent. You do have some friends over there, or you're kind of connecting with a new community over there. And of course, you might miss your past, but you're really excited to venture out into some place new. Now, the Seven of Swords can indicate that there are some planning and strategies that are involved in your embarking into a new world here, right? Obviously, when you're leaving your comfort zone, we need to make a comfort zone for ourselves. So yes, you're taking the necessary resources, you're telling the necessary people, taking care of documentation. You're just in general very well planned and strategic about how to go about things. All right. And now the Ace of Cups indicates that there is an opportunity, and that is filling you up with a lot of joy. That's the reason why you are so willing to step outside of your bubble. Yeah, I'm looking at this image and it feels like you're stepping outside of your world into a whole new world, and you want to do that. Because there's just something very lovely going on. Yes, I was just looking at the cards. By the way, we see 7 and 7, so this can be a very fated encounter with someone new here as well, or a fated information that comes in out of nowhere. It could be, for example, mail that went missing. It was supposed to reach you at a certain time, but it comes at a different time than you were expecting, just a fluke, but then for you, it comes at the perfect time. Okay, technically it might be missed, but yes, it arrives at the perfect time. What else? Now, the 5 of Cups can indicate that certain opportunities are not exciting for you where you are in your world. So that's also another reason why you might be looking for newer opportunities, new connections, and so on. It can also be that you're just needing change. You just want a change of space and just, have a little bit more adventure, connect with different types of people, have like different experiences here as well. Some of you might decide to adopt a new persona when you go to this new place. Not to be fake or anything, but really to see once again what you're capable of. Perhaps you've learned a lot of things about yourself already, but sometimes it's really hard to incorporate all of those changes when we are in the same environment with the same people, because they know how we were. Right, that in that place we're kind of habituated to act a certain way. So changing a place, any place really, depending on what you find convincing, changing that place or space or the people for a little bit at least gives us a little bit more breathing space for our individual growth. So it seems like you're taking an action which is more beneficial for you specifically. You're thinking about yourself in this particular phase. The 7 of Swords can indicate that you're making decisions without consulting other people, or you don't need other people's advice to make this choice. I'm not really getting a rebellious phase or anything. It feels like something you're just desiring in this moment, but it definitely has a very long-term impact in the sense you make friends for life. You meet people that you just immediately connect with, and you would miss them if you left them, so quite close. Ace of Cups can also indicate that you meet a partner along this, and now you have to kind of consider the other repercussions of, are you going back, or are you staying where you are? Do you pursue other opportunities in that space, or is there some more adventures that you want to be seeking around this time? So kind of open-ended. This is the world is literally the last card of the major arcana. So then we're done with the graduation, we're done with the big chapters, and now it's kind of up to us. You do have a lot of stamina and courage, so you're ready to go at it by yourself. When you're leaving a certain space here, you're like, okay, you know what, I have to do this, I have to handle this, and so on and so forth. You're taking matters into your own hands. But then when you arrive into a certain place, you just see that you have immediate support. Okay, the Ace of Cups, 3 of Cups, it's like you immediately make friends and they just stay friends with you. And now this can literally be talking about graduation. You think that you're going to have to study by yourself, be a little bit strategic and competitive and so on and so forth. And sure, you can do that, but you're also making a lot of genuine connections and you're enjoying what you're doing, more importantly, and you would be missing them when the graduation is over. But all is not lost because you're still staying friends with the people who you're still aligned with. Okay, so let's see. Even if you have finished school, this can talk about you going for another course and you're doing this in your own time, your own space. Okay. Key moment number 2 for pile 2 viewers, please. Let's clarify. We have you, the Muse. This is the Empress card. We have Creator, Earth. Love a Creator card. One more. You're creating your own abundance, your own fortress, fortitude. You're persevering, hardworking, and reliable. And we have cozy up with risk as well. All right, so this can be you feeling a little bit spontaneous. We do have, you're stepping outside of your boundary and your comfort zones. Obviously, all these new experiences might just be like so much. It might feel a little bit risky, but it's again, it's well timed. I keep hearing. So you, the muse, is like, you know what you're capable of. You're sure of yourself. Okay, you can take care of you, and that you have enough resources with you financially and other material resource wise. And you also trust that wherever you arrive or wherever you're going, you will be comfortable enough that you can manage your own way. You can, for example, you know the language, right? That's already a very big plus. Or if not, you know exactly who to go to, how you can acquire housing or something of that sort. There is a form of stability, but largely it is a little bit outside of your comfort zone. But that kind of fires you up. It gets you more motivated and excited for everything else that you want to explore, really. And through this whole process, you're discovering a lot more of you. There is a lot of self-love that is coming through with the Ace of Cups. And that is, again, because you're in that state, you're magnetizing people who are in that state. So there is no codependency, there is no unhealthy attachments, not to the past, not to the future, not to the moment either. Okay, you're just living and enjoying everything. It can be that you move to some place where there's a lot more nature. So it doesn't have to be, a far off continent or something. It can still be around your comfort zone-ish, but still far away and very different from what you're accustomed to. So yeah, it can be a little bit more naturey, but you're very happy with the choices you're making. Yeah, self-sufficiency is as well something I hear. Okay, wow, we have the Empress. Nice, with the third key element here, the key moment, we have the Empress. I did mention you, the muse, is exactly that as well. So feeling beautiful, feeling lovely about yourself. Also can be pregnancy for some of you, if that's something you want in life. Childbirth as well, the whole process basically, conception to birth. That can be a very big moment in your life. There's a lot of creative potential basically, so even if you don't want children, then yeah, this indicates that you can make anything that you want happen in your life here. You're capable of nurturing yourself, your sense of space, you have your priorities straight, and you're ready for new things. Yeah, we have the Ace of Pentacles that stands out. All right, so this as well fell out. We're just going to take it. We have the Magician. Let's see what this one is. Temperance. Very nice. And we have the Page of Cups. Yeah, for quite a few of you, if you're wanting to get pregnant, then yes, this is a very nice indicator of motherhood. You're taking, again, matters into your own hands. You could be manifesting certain things, making use of the resources you have available, and kind of alchemizing your space to create the maximum comfort and productivity possible. Apart from that, this talks about you having so many skills and so much to offer that you're constantly on the go, or you're being productive in some, not in an exhausting way, but like, okay, it's the good kind of busy, right? It's a good kind of busy. There's a lot going on, everything is exciting, and so on. All right, we have the Eight of Swords as well. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, there might be a lot of skills that you have. You're working on those things. The Ace of Pentacles indicates a new opportunity that comes about, and that kind of jogs a lot of thoughts. Initially, it can feel as though that if you start something, you would have to commit to it, and you don't really know if you are strong enough or capable enough or worthy enough, and things like that can come up here. But that's not really, that's literally one of the clarifiers compared to the other four. And the Empress is all about self-assurance and heightened self-esteem as well. So that does not mean that you don't deal with any problems at all, or that you never have known of problems, but that you can deal with them expertly. You're not responding to these fears and insecurities, you're answering them, you're dealing with them, and you're figuring out new ways to work with them. Okay, so any new experience that you go through here, which is a little bit more long-term because it's a major arcana, you need to have at least the knowing that you would commit to the process for that much time, right? So begin something but also see it through, that kind of vibe here. So you might be questioning whether that is for you or not, but you might decide to go for it, okay? Page of Cups is talking about some artistic or intuitive abilities that come through. Your subconscious blockages are dissolving, is something I hear. There's a lot of healing that comes through also with the Temperance, and it kind of feels like you have a new life yourself. It can be that you are feeling reborn in this particular phase. If again you absolutely don't want children, then so be it, right? This can just be talking about you. But even if you are going through a childbirth or pregnancy, even then you can go through a lot of major personal changes as well, right? So absolutely, there's a lot of healing from an internal perspective till the physical. Your manifestation abilities are really heightened in this phase. Magician, Page of Cups, Empress, all three of them talk about that. It's like your thoughts are creating your reality, and you're very conscious and aware of what is it that you are attracting. Your heart is very innocent, and you're kind of connected to that inner space, and you're keeping it sacred, is something else I see with this Empress card over there. Very connected with your personal nature. So personal authenticity is really good. You can also be creating a lot of new connections over here. You might feel even a little bit too much, that there are too many people around you who would ask for your help, and you can only do so much, right? But that's okay, right? That's kind of okay. Yeah, you do still have good boundaries here. You're very helping, but you have good boundaries, so that's kind of ideal. We have gratitude again. So yes, you're very thankful for everything that is happening here. You recognize the gifts and blessings in the moment, and you're taking advantage of the opportunities right then and there. Some more clarification for the Empress, please. We have the good kind, exactly. So you're really happy with everything that happens. There's not too much new detail coming through here. Let's see one more. Okay, we have ambush fear with your ferocious dream. Exactly, you know it in your heart, you know it in your mind, it's just very clear. So, you know, fears and all of that just does not stand a chance, right? Something you know. That's it. You're listening to your inner self. That's it. It's very straightforward, very simple. And very fulfilling, okay? Also very peaceful over here with a Temperance. There can be a good relationship that you can form. Even the most troublesome connections you might have had, either you let go of it and the connection is dissolved or healed in some regard. You might develop a better communication style, for example, and that helps you connect with a lot more people and kind of connect with them in the right way as you intend. So communicating your intentions as they are, instead of trying to showcase them in a different way or anything, right? So there's no masking, there's no self-preservation or self-sabotage. You're just following through with what actually makes you feel happy. That's it. Very nice. Okay, key moment number 4. We have the 9 of Wands coming through. This is a moment of perseverance. It's a minor arcana, so it would be a quick thing, but it has a long-term impact because it's a key moment, right? It kind of shows you what the levels to which you are capable of achieving your goals and your visions. How much effort you can put. You might be underselling yourself. For example, saying that you can walk for, let's say, an hour might be impossible to imagine. But then here comes an opportunity, or here comes a situation where you just have to walk for an hour, and you see that you do it. And when you're there, yeah, of course you feel tired because you're not used to it, but you know, you did it and nothing horrible happened along the way and you arrived there just fine. It's kind of that moment. So let's clarify, get some more detail for pile 2. Key moment number 4, 9 of Wands. Okay, we have Justice. We have 4 of Cups. Interesting. we have the Tower. Wow. Okay. We have Two of Pentacles, and we have the Two of Wands. All right. This one feels like a little bit of a mixed bag, honestly. It might be that you're letting go of a contract, business or personal, to follow something that is more in alignment to who you are, because whatever that contract is, it has become extremely stale and to the point of no return, right? When we have the Tower there, it's like, okay, this is a deal breaker, or this is just not doing it for me anymore. It's just wrong. It's as if I'm lying to myself if I keep on pursuing this. So I'm just going to absolve this commitment and move on in a different direction. That is a very key moment. But you don't do this lightly. You don't take this choice very quickly. You spend quite some time trying to revive the connection. But yeah, the Tower here can obviously talk about a breakdown of certain things, but it can also talk about breakthrough at the same time. Okay, so let's say you're stuck in a rut and there is a collaborative relationship. Again, it can be business, it can be just your personal commitments to a certain habit, for example, or it can also be a personal romantic relationship. It can also be a friendship which has run its course, right? But we're still holding on to because it's comfortable and we don't want to deal with change at that time. But regardless of what the case is, there is a change that occurs that changes the course of things, basically. So yes, even if there is a collaborative effect, that is, you are not the only one who is fighting for something or pursuing for something, and the other part of the promising party is also helping you out in this way, then there is a possibility of getting out of it together, but still changed together. Okay, for example, you might decide very radically and also together that you need to kind of split your finances or divert them in some way so that money is out of the equation of the relationship if it's a personal one. Or it can be that if it's a more platonic or professional connection, then this can be that you get involved in other types of activities, so you spend some time apart and that kind of brings about more excitement into the connection, or you have just more things to share and talk about. If it's a business partnership, then it can be that instead of both of you doing one task, you divide and conquer, and that helps you come together in a collaborative effort here. Okay, but the reason why this change happens can be a little bit boring or unpleasant. Okay, it's just something that goes on for far too long, and you're tired of resisting the change and you're holding on to something that just doesn't need so much holding on to. If it's right, it's right? We don't have to hold on too tightly for things that anyway belong to us, right? So there is a breakthrough moment where you break down the resistance and you're like, there you go, you're free, I'm free. Now what do we do? Do we still decide to be together and kind of figure things out here? Or do we decide to go separate ways because it doesn't make sense anymore? Do we decide to conduct ourselves differently within this partnership? Depending on, again, what your connection is. But that is a very life-changing moment, because that availability of potential, not necessarily of mates or anything, again, take it as it resonates, but the availability or the choice of having this option of you don't have to stay in this house to be in a partnership. You can relocate somewhere else if that makes you happy, or you can conduct your business differently and you're not tied to being this one label. That possibility alone makes things very exciting, and you're more inclined to stay with that person or the party or that promise you've made to yourself. Also, 9 of Wands is here, right? So the success that you go through, or when you look back, you're like, wow, I really went through all of these moments. I did so much, I've come so far, and things like that. That itself brings you this sense of joy and achievement in this phase here. So there is no more stagnancy, no more boring at the end of this phase here. So there is a strong indication of surviving whatever is, but it is very important to know what exactly you're fighting for in this situation. Is it something that honestly feels right to you, and is everyone involved on the same page, right? Because if there's a lot of split going on here, then yeah, there can be definitely a separation, because it's just not helping either one of you anyway, right? But I don't see any of there's no depression cards, there's no heartbreak, and so on. So I'm not going to say that this is the most disastrous thing that is happening or anything. It's not that extreme, promise. But yeah, it is still like very noticeable, quite strong in its effect on you. It can be something internal, or you make a lifestyle change proceeding from this point. But you're really excited about the opportunities here. It shows a good chance for multiplication as well. So in terms of splitting your resources or splitting your time and pursuing a side hustle along with your regular job, for example, that itself is a breaking off of your regular partnership you have, where you kind of are like, can I work part-time, right? That would lead to this breakdown and breakthrough moment too. And so it's really not necessary to be insanely drastic, let's say. But yes, it leaves you with a lot of breathing space and unleashes more of your potential. Okay, let's get some more cards, please, for the 9 of Wands. 3 more cards. Title to viewers, key moment number 4. Welcome the Divine Masculine, the Sacred Flow of Yes, and one more, please. That would be the Divine Masculine energy, Divine Feminine energy. So that's really nice. We have a partnership going on there. There is also a united flow within yourself, if we are not talking about different people here. And one more, please. You are living poetry, my goodness. So in that moment, it can feel a little bit dramatic, okay? Yeah, it can feel like, wow, like my life, how poetic. We were thinking this and it happened literally, or, you know, this is just ideal. It feels almost like poetry, like a fairy tale, something of that sort. Yes, okay, so whatever happens, you're fully accepting of what is, okay? So there's no resistance here. So that's why I don't see any suffering. There's no pain as such, okay? You're not devastated by any choice that you're making. You're very comfortable with whatever it is you're doing. Comfortable to in a sense, there's still moments of excitement and exploration, but you're comfortable with your sense of stability. You are living poetry. Can be that you're expressing yourself differently. Perhaps there's an artistic side of you and you want to express that a little bit more. Or it can be just that you're having open communications with the people involved and also with yourself. Okay, there can be a sense of evaluating the past and kind of noticing that you have been stuck in a rut for quite some time, but you just have been sticking it together and you just kind of keep going day in and day out. But there is a point where it's like, okay, you know what, we've been doing this for way too long. We need a bit of a change. We need to switch things up a bit, do things differently, right? So yes, it can be an ongoing thing, but the change itself, the key moment itself happens in one day, in a flash, and everything just flows along beyond that point. The twos over here indicate that you're making a choice together. So there is no like, I'm going this way, you're going that way, and we don't agree with each other, we end on bad terms. None of that happening, okay? So whether it is personal, business, professional, whatever it is, it's just very amicable and works out quite well for everyone involved here. Okay. Yes. Okay. And we have the fifth key moment as the Seven of Cups. All right. You have so many choices here. Also a minor arcana, so it can be not a long-term thing, but something that happens quickly, has a long-term impact. Let's clarify, please. We have the Nine of Wands. We saw that earlier. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, this looks like more career opportunities. You might be letting go of a certain previous professional commitment, seems like, but might be unrelated as well. Let's see what else we have. Let's see. Two more, please, two more. Right, we have the Five of Swords and we have the Queen of Pentacles. Very nice. We have the Queen and the King. This again can indicate some partnership, and also that can be professional or personal, depending on what you're looking for. But regardless, there is a sense of self-assurance and independence in both of these. Okay, so if you're looking for partnerships, this can indicate that you find your perfect mate and you have a lot of things in common, but you still play, you're aware of what your strengths are individually, and you work together with each other along according to that. Five of Swords can indicate that there are many choices here, and there might be some pressure of getting everything right, or there's a desire to make everything go right, but that is kind of adding a little bit of stress in this situation. Thankfully, you have a lot of resources that you can split in multiple directions. Okay, so this I'm talking a little bit more professionally here. It can be multiple investment options, for example, or multiple career options. But you decide that, okay, why should I put everything in one direction? So you're deciding to kind of split in some way. And that has a long-term impact in the multiplication of your resources, right? So it can be a thought of, oh, thank goodness I trusted my intuition and I went in this direction. Or it can be that choice made sense and I'm happy that I followed my heart, and that I invested in a direction that actually is authentic to me. I'm really thinking about the Five of Swords here. There can be some miscommunication, but how do I say this? It's not really the communication itself, but how it is understood. Okay? Sometimes, many times we just hear what we want to hear. Right, it's kind of one of those moments, because Seven of Cups can be that illusory time where we're imagining a lot, we're fantasizing quite a bit, and so on. So we're kind of more prone to seeing what we want to see instead of what is true. Okay, so what about that? I'm just getting the message as I go. But it might not be the one that you want to commit to. So let's say you're looking for partners. That one makes sense the most, is also feeling very right to you. But you might be still considering or bothered by the other options for you. So you don't want to miss out on the best opportunity or the best partnership. Okay, and this can be because you've been through your relationships, your experiences, and so on. So you don't want to spend a lot of time or effort in something or someone that you don't resonate with. This is a moment where you are spending some quiet time and you're making sure that you're being practical about certain things It can even be that your logic is not making sense to you in that moment. Perhaps you need to respond with your heart. If you don't enjoy something, then there is no point in pursuing it, whether it is a person or a creative project or other habits that you want to be incorporating into your life. So you're being very wise with how you want to make choices from that point on, or regarding that particular situation. Seven of Cups can also indicate that there is a wish come true, but it might feel a little bit out of reach in that moment. And it is, I'm getting that it is there to, it's kind of spiritually orchestrated that way, so that you notice an opportunity and you decide to go after it. Because nothing can come to us unless we really desire it or really seek it. Okay, with our thoughts and words and actions as well. So there is a fantasy or a dream that comes in and you're like, yes, I think that's it. You know, that's the kind of person I want, or that's the situation, that's my ideal life, and so on. That's what I want. Yes, there is like a sense of clarity, and every other option does not seem as appealing anymore. But you're not there yet in a tangible reality sense. You know of it in your mind, but now it is time to make that happen in your tangible world. And that would mean that you're letting go of certain thoughts, certain competitive thoughts, competitive people, or people that are kind of gaslighters. I don't know why I'm getting that, but yes, that could be for some of you too. That you're letting go of relationships or patterns where you had to fight really hard for something, and this type of clarity or this imagination that comes through, that what you want is within your reach, and that there's like a little bit more thing, like stop drowning, for example, stop sabotaging yourself, stop going for options that are easy, go for something that is, you know, is yours, even if it feels a little bit far away, but because you know it in your heart of hearts that this is right for you, you will get there. Yeah, it's time to dig ourselves out of the ditch. It's kind of that vibe here. There's a lot of healing going on when we have pentacles. It can be in a material sense, so if you have a bad relationship with money, this can be you developing a good one. Same goes with food and nature. Groundedness, your root chakra might be healing over here as well. Yeah. Okay, so there's some epiphanies coming through in this phase. Quite an important one, even if it's a minor arcana, because it sets off a whole new journey of self-security, personal strength, and recognition of the self as well. This is where you really start achieving a lot of things. Okay, let's clarify the fifth key moment. I hope you don't mind that this is a little bit longer than usual. I really wanted to do a deep dive. I was thinking of doing like 3 key moments instead of 5, but I thought, let's just do 5. It has a nice ring to it. Okay, one more, please. Okay, good. So first we have prosperity, sisters, our happiness and joy. So that's really nice to hear. It's kind of like you're choosing your joy. You're choosing that fantasy, and you're like, yes, I know it might seem too good to be true, but I know I can make it happen. All I have to do is let go of certain thought patterns, create some mindset shifts, put in the effort, and I'm there, right? Slow and steady, one by one. There's no need to rush. Then we have rise here, which indicates you're letting go of the gunk, toxicities, all the heaviness, things that make you feel weighed down internally, externally, from the past. And also pressures of the future, things like that. You're letting go of all that and you're liberating yourself from this cycle. You're rising up in terms of leadership as well with the king and the queen. So you could get some more opportunities, more options while you are on the rise. And then it's kind of up to you as to what you want to dedicate yourself to. You might again go inward and think about it a little bit before you make a final choice. But whatever it is you choose is really for your self-upliftment, your fulfillment, and joy for not only you, but also people surrounding you. This indicates a good cooperative relationship with the people around you. You have support as well, and you are being protected in this time. Like I said, it's kind of spiritually orchestrated in a way to show you an indicator of, hey, don't you want this? You want this? Okay, come here. Let's, not in a creepy way, but like, really, you want this dream, right? Come get it. You can make it happen. Okay, then we have get back to elemental, which indicates getting to the basics, taking care of your foundations. Absolutely, with the pentacles there, it can be that you're making sure you're healthy, you're strong, you have good boundaries, you're taking care of your finances, people that depend on you or you depend on as well, kind of taking care of every resource that you have available, basically. You're also looking at the present moment. You want to get to the root of certain things. For example, do I really want this? If so, why? Am I really wanting that type of opportunity, or something else is waiting for me? You know, there is a time of contemplation here where you just keep digging and digging to find the real inspiration or the real calling, the real love that you want to have. Okay, that's I'm also hearing building your life for yourself from the ground up. You want to do that for yourself, for your sense of security as well. So many triangles coming through, so it's a very beneficial time, regardless of what the practical everyday circumstances might be. You're very happy with the outcome here. You're excited for what is to come, and you feel blessed. I think that's the biggest keyword of this particular key moment. Okay, let's see. Pile 2 viewers, please. Anything else you need to know? 7th house, Aries, and the Sun. Okay, so this talks about partnerships. Okay, so yeah, it can be a romantic relationship, business, or close one-to-one relationship, friendships, for example, that you're forming, and they inspire you a lot. If you are wanting a business at any point, you see yourself as maybe someday, possibly it happening for you, then this can indicate that you're attracting a lot of clients who are very magnetized and driven towards you. The Sun in the 7th house indicates that you learn a lot from your relationships or from other people, and that empowers you a lot. You become very independent. You can attract independent people as well. You can have very open communication. You understand each other, things like that. Yes, and also in terms of clients, you are able to take on their needs, their requirements on board, and you deliver something really awesome to all of your customers. So that's really nice. Apart from that, projections and any malicious intending past relationships, or even if it's a current state, you're letting go of that in order to cultivate someone who's genuinely strong and confident from inside out and does not feel the need for external validation and things like that. You are getting a lot of external validation, and your magnetism and charm is really rising. Your confidence is as well being boosted with every iteration of these key moments over here. I'm not really sure what comes before and after. It really depends on your individual circumstance, but either way, it's ending quite nicely for you in each of these sections there. So that's what I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed, that the reading resonated and it helped you out. Let me know your thoughts. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi pile 3, welcome to your reading. So let's see the top 5 key moments in your life in the future. These are not in any particular order. We will see them as they come, and they're obviously not the most comprehensive. Of course, you're going to have a lot more key moments, but these are some of the major ones. So the first card we have coming up for you is the Chariot. I'm going to clarify this with some more tarot, get some oracle, and in the end we will do some astro dice as well. Okay, so can we clarify Chariot please for pile 3 viewers? corresponds with the zodiac Cancer, by the way, which is a water sign, relates with home and family and things that our heart is very fond of. So you're being fueled by your heart's desires, basically. And that is giving you a lot of courage. You're also protecting your energy in this phase. This can indicate some sort of travel, an opportunity that is too compelling for you to miss. Let's see. Let's clarify, please. Okay, we have the 9 of Cups coming up first. I'm going for it one by one, so please be patient. We have the World. Yeah, that definitely indicates some sort of travel, seeing new places. Three more cards, please. Let's go. Okay, we got them all at one go, so we're just gonna take it. Okay. We have the King of Cups. We have Death. And we have the Hanged Man. Okay, so this is really paving the path for some new experiences here. Definitely going out of your shell, letting go of your comfort space and exploring some new spaces, new worlds, new connection. And that leads to a brand new perspective. Now, the Chariot is a major arcana card, and that indicates that whatever is happening is a more long-term situation. It's a particular phase in life. It's not an epiphany that happens one fine day and now everything is different. Okay, so this is happening over a broader course of time. It can be that you're going someplace for college or some sort of higher education, some additional education that you're interested in. But this is something that you really enjoy doing and you're very compelled to discover more about it. The Death corresponds with Scorpio, which is another fellow water sign, and that can talk about delving deeper into your subconscious mind. You might be studying psychology, for example, or you want to understand more about yourself. It can also indicate that you're letting go of certain toxicities by leaving behind a certain space, by embarking upon a new journey. You're discovering a new facet of yourself, and that really excites you. It gives you a lot more depth within your own perception of your personality. You see just very different things. That's kind of what is coming through, and that's very profound for you. You can make some permanent changes based on these new realizations and experiences you go through. It shows you the possibility that you can manifest a lot of things, and that if you truly want something, you can make it happen no matter what. Okay, let's clarify a little bit more with the oracles. See what else we can get. So, pile 3 viewers, key moment number 1. Your heart's desires being fulfilled. Everything that once stood in your way is then released by this, in this particular phase. There can be a moment of contemplation as well before you make some serious promises of any type. But but the contemplation itself is very fulfilling or productive. I'm channeling as I go, so let's see what else comes through. You might also be very protective of your space and of people you care about, the things that you care about as well. Yeah, there is a form of, you don't want to be sharing certain information with people who have nothing to do with it, so you're being selective. And that's making up more space for more genuine connections and ambitions to kind of come through. Your willpower is quite strong here, so as you decide, you can manifest. Okay, so we have celebrate your wins coming up first. This is Six of Wands. It really is the card of recognition and triumph. So we'd like to see that whatever you are going through here, you will be successful. Any journey that you take, you are gaining a lot, gathering a lot, and you're very excited about this. You might also be more noticeable to other people. With Scorpio, there is an inherent magnetism that comes with the zodiac, and perhaps your advice is very pivotal to certain people, or you have some quality to you that's just very compelling to others, and they want to get to know you a little bit more. They find you mysterious perhaps, or you're very selective about where you are giving your energy and your attention. So it's sort of like people want what they can't have type of circumstance, and different types of people might be magnetized to you. Not that you care though, you're like happy about it. Your ego is super satisfied with this situation, but deep down you know what it is that you want, and you're clear in your priorities. We have Fill Your Cup with Sacred Giggles, which is the Three of Cups and Magician combined. So this indicates that you're very happy and satisfied with this phase in life, and you are doing things that make you genuinely happy, that provide a sort of heightened quality, better lifestyle in your life overall, and more specifically relating to the people that you have in your life. Okay, so no fake friends, no unnecessary conversations that don't even feel good, but we just keep on doing anyway. And the same thing goes for your kind of your day-to-day engagements. It can be that you find a sense of fulfillment when you journal, but then you can't keep up with it, and so on. That usually happens, but in this phase you're really set on making that a part of your life because it makes you feel happy. So whatever it is you're doing, you're making sure that you're cultivating a lot more joy and fulfillment in your life progressively. There is no rush, there's no hastiness, but it's very definitive and decisive in this phase, that you want to make a certain change that would really embark you on a new phase of your life, or a new journey within your life. Okay. Then we have What Does Your Soul Say? Definitely, this is that soul searching, wanting to look deeper, wanting to understand yourself a little bit more, that kind of vibe coming through. What does your soul say with the Hanged Man also can be that you have some spiritual answers, nudges, and intuitions that come, that redirect you towards a different path, or towards different people along your journey. But you're not doubting that. I don't see any resistance here. You're going with the flow, you're surrendering to the process, and you're trusting that things will work out just as they should. And you immediately start seeing the results of that anyway, because you're just feeling happy with the choice alone to have faith. The Nine of Cups is really like your wishes being fulfilled. Like, your wish is granted. What's your next wish? It's kind of that vibe there. Well, alright, so let's see your second. We have the second key moment as the King of Swords. Okay, so King of Swords is you being in a teacher position or having something to share. You have something to offer here. So let me clarify. See what else we get. Let's clarify the King of Swords, please. Second key moment. You have a strong foresight is as well, like here. You have experiences to back up your thought process. You're aware and conscious of your own thoughts, and you're very mindful of what you are thinking and saying, because you recognize your own personal power. That's what makes you very strong, that recognition alone. We have the Eight of Wands and the Empress so far. Let's see, 3 more. The King of Swords can also be a guide or a mentor figure, so not necessarily a teacher, but something to offer. It can also be that you're a writer, philosopher, some sort of, you're thinking about some major topics and you want to share with others what you have learned so far, or what you are learning. We have the Knight of Swords as well. Two more, please. We have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, this might be a bit of a responsibility here, but nothing that you would detest or anything. You're actually happy about this. You're taking on this role and responsibility, and you're fully capable of it. One last card. Yes. Okay, so we have the High Priestess as well. There can be some, you might be a channel, for example. Your intuition might speak very loudly, clearly to you, and you can't really deny that in any way. So you're going off with that. There can be some ideas that come to you around this time. The Eight of Wands talks about spontaneous ideas, movements of thoughts. A lot of communication can be going through around this time. By the way, this is a minor arcana, so it happens like in one day or over a couple of weeks or a month, which has a profound impact in the long term. So in that way, it is a key moment, but the situation itself does not drag on for very long. But the impact that it has is heightening your self-esteem, your self-respect, and your clarity of communication here. It feels as though you can attract, or you can make a good case to attract certain resources towards you, to make certain things or responsibilities easier for yourself. The Knight of Swords can be that you're taking action on the ideas that are coming to you, and you're having faith that it is going to lead to a lot more future prosperity than you give it credit in that moment. But it does need some follow through, some discipline, some responsibility and structure as well to make it a reality and to make it self-sustaining in some way. But you're not opposed to that. You're actually on board. It might even be your intention to get a creative project that just sparks you to take action and have that willpower and drive to put in your creative force into something. So you're happy with what happens here. The High Priestess talks about, like I said, your intuition for sure, but it can also be talking about having a more objective viewpoint about your emotions and the options or the ideas that come in. And that is a very nice thing to have, because when we have a lot of things going on, it's nice to kind of hang back and look at it a little bit more objectively, so we're not very biased when we're making certain decisions here. So being very fair to your capacity, and if you have employees, then to their capacities. There is a lot of respect that you have for yourself and others, and that kind of helps you take advantage of a lot of opportunities in this phase here. And you will recognize this phase by just this overload, or this, not overload, but like this download of information that comes into you. The High Priestess and the King of Swords can indicate an epiphany as well, but it's immediately practicable. It's not some lofty vision of all is one and, you know, love is everything and all of that, which is like very nice things to know and have, but then like how do you put that into action, right? But over here you're receiving something very practical or very exciting that you can put into effect already. So you're taking immediate action. You're not being impulsive though, but you're very quick. It might also be that you're taking on a little bit more than you can chew, but you're still optimistic or realistic about it in a way, because you're going through things very quickly. So you could be a very rapid learner, for example, and you trust that you can do a little bit more than what other people would give you credit for, or in other people's perspectives it might be a little bit too much, right? But you can handle it. You still have to put in a little bit more effort than the others, obviously, but you're still capable of doing that, and you trust in your ability. Okay, let's get some oracle cards, get some more messages. Key moment number 2 for pile 3 viewers, please. The spark of hustle. Yeah, exactly. This is the phase of hard work. determination, self-control, discipline, single-mindedness, solid focus. But it's not only worth it, but you're enjoying that feeling of exercising your willpower itself. Like, to be able to tackle these things is what is exciting. It feels very empowered here. And I'm also hearing that your mind expands. Of course, one interpretation of that would be the epiphany bit, but it can also be that you're learning a lot of new things. You're teaching things, so you're kind of getting to know how other people learn as well. And that makes you a better teacher or a better communicator in some regard. One more. Some of you could even write a book about the lessons you've learned and the experiences you've had. Okay, we have the spark of hustle. We already talked about this one. Just wanted to show you the imagery. We have the distraction of shiny things, which is the devil energy. And we have the creator alchemy card, which is kind of regeneration and creation of ideas. So it can kind of really, I'm hearing engineering. Okay, so engineering your way out of some difficulty, raising your perspective, kind of broadening your perspective so that you can see beyond current limitations. Let's say one easy example that comes into mind is you are filling in the space for someone in a different company or a different team, but it's a higher up position. So there might be a lot of things you have to manage from a bigger perspective here, right? So that's a lot of responsibilities, and it might feel a little bit cluttered when you get there. So it seems as though you are taking on the task of organizing something, okay? Organizing the space, decluttering a space, even events, if that's something you're interested in, or being a correspondent between, two like bigger parties of some sort. And there can be a lot of misunderstanding that could be created if a message is not being sent correctly. So the distraction of shiny things indicates that you feel a sense of importance in doing what you do, and there is a lot in your control, which can feel like a lot of responsibility, a lot of things to deal with, but you're also feeling empowered by the same thing. Okay, and if that does not resonate, this can be your mindset going through a lot of changes in this time, where, like I said, you have epiphanies and you have breakthroughs and you feel you're capable of a lot, but you still have to put in the work. And that's kind of the devil energy, because it relates with Capricorn. You're putting in the effort, you're going at it one by one, and finally you succeed, you reach your stage. And the experiences that you have along the way, both successes and difficulties, you still learn a great deal from all of those things, and that's exactly what takes you to this leadership position here. Now, the Creator Alchemy is a very powerful card because it's the ultimate, okay? It's beyond the creator elements. It's mixing all of these unlikely substances together and making something new out of them. So the various experiences that you have, you know how to work together with all of those things, okay? So no part of you and your life feels like out of place. There is a sense of all the puzzle pieces coming together, and it is still a journey of self-discovery. I'm not gonna say that everything is figured out now. You don't have to do anything anymore. No, because then it's not that exciting anymore anyway, right? But this indicates you have learned a lot, you have many skills, and now you know how to very carefully and efficiently put these moving parts together to make something new happen that is unique, that is a unique expression of you. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hearing. Very strong. Okay, so let's see your, hang on. Yeah, okay. Second. So third, we have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is a very lovely card. It is about new love, blossoming, your heart's desire, singing, your heart being very fulfilled, peaceful, happy. It is also the card for unconditional love. So we love to see that in any reading, really. Okay. So let's clarify the third message for pile 3. You have strength coming through. Very nice. Very nice. You're passionate, driven. Like I said, strength relates with Leo. Leo connects with the heart. So, yes, there's a lot of generosity you're feeling and you're experiencing in this phase. Also a minor arcana, so there can be a moment of just a gushing heart, just you're filled with so much love and joy that it helps you establish a different outlook on life, or in terms of relationships, depending on what it is that you're seeking in life as well. Let's get some more clarifiers. Ace of Cups. Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. We have the King of Wands. Let's get two more. King of Pentacles, two kings, wow. Two fire signs and two kings. So, there can be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius involved in the equation. They could be a partner. And there is another earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. So one of them can be you. The other is another person if we're looking at a romantic situation. Now we have the Six of Pentacles as well. So these court cards can indicate certain investors too. And the Ace of Cups can be indicating that you're doing what makes you feel happy. And it makes you feel excited as well. That's where your passion is. Now the Five of Pentacles can indicate that you're afraid you might not be worth something, or that you don't have a lot to give. But as you can see, there are people who just want your services or want your attention in some way. Five of Pentacles also talks about loneliness, but right after it we have the Six, which indicates that a period of loneliness or just not wanting to be very social, not wanting to have partners or connections, not having enough money or self-worth or things like that. After a period of that, there is like a heart awakening, and you're filled with self-love, and you're filled with love from the outside as well. There is equal balance in all relationships around you, and even within yourself. You give yourself love and you give to the others love as well, to those you care about. And whatever you do because it makes you happy. You have sufficient financial resources. There's a good flow between. There's also some, yeah, you're kind of earning quite well. You spend on things that are valuable to you. There's no excessive anything, so that's nice. You're feeling secure. Let's clarify the Ace of Cups, please. Yeah, the Creator Earth, that's really awesome, which is meaning that you're creating your own stability and your financial resources. You don't want anything, like you don't have anything missing. You don't feel like something's missing here. You might be the one with the business idea, and the King of Pentacles is an investor, by the way, okay? Or there is a partner who has a little bit more financial resources, so you can kind of invest that in whatever it is you're doing together. That can be also something for specific people. I don't see a debt attachment though, so you're happy. Like it's okay to borrow money or to kind of put in a little bit extra resource in things that you're passionate about, right? There's no guilt attached to any of this. Yeah. And this recognition alone, it's literally an overflowing cup, overflowing heart. That's a feeling that really can't be explained in words. It's always a lot more than I can really put into words. It can just feel like so much. We have inflow with money. Excellent. So yeah, steady income and good quality income that enables a very nice lifestyle. of what you truly desire. Once again, there's nothing like excessive in that way. Of course, there would be that occasional splurging, but you quickly come back into balance. And any splurging that happens could be an indicator of previous poorer relationships with money, like poverty consciousness, for example. You can search about it if you're not really sure what that means. But you're coming to that point where you want to save money for your legacies, your future children, and you want to reinvest in something that would flourish a lot more for you. And we have you are epic, corresponding with the Emperor energy. This indicates you're feeling very stable and self-sufficient at this time. You're strong, courageous, and full of vital energy. I'm getting that you have, it seems as though you have endless energy and strength, okay? So even if you work a little bit late one night, you're still full of energy the next day, because that passion and that love for something is really driving you there. And you have the resource, you have the space and the freedom to create whatever it is that you want. Okay, so you're really in this creator zone. We had creator alchemy before, we have creator earth now, so that's the first pile. This one, where I'm getting two creators. Okay, now your fourth, we have the King of Wands. Wow, so business seems to be very likely, or some sort of leadership authority position where you're someone that people need support from. Okay, so this can be in the form of like motivation, but also can be in a sense of direction. You know, you might be very good at telling people which way to go, what to do, and kind of utilize your resources in a wise manner, and you make quick decisions. So that level of clarity and go-getting is very inspiring to the people who work with you or people who surround you at this time. So even your friends could come by to ask for your counseling, for example. King of Wands also indicates that you're very confident and charismatic in this phase. You're presenting yourself in a very confident air, and that attracts a lot more power towards you as well. Okay, let's clarify this, see a little bit more detail. We did have King of Wands before. It kind of feels a little bit interconnected with the other one, so I'm curious to see what the clarifiers are. We have the Ace of Wands. Very nice. Next, what do we have? Clarify the King of Wands, please. Okay, we have the Page of Cups. We have the Lovers. Yeah, so this itself is a major choice, but there is an idea that comes to you that's very hard to ignore. It's very compelling, and you know it's your heart's desire. And while you're still in the beginning stages, initially you are experienced in other things, or you have other skill sets that you have refined and you're confident about, so you don't mind stepping into a new puddle and exploring that. We have the Three of Pentacles, and really feeling inclined towards business, having your own team, co-creating with other people. This can also be being in charge of a very vital team. If you don't want to have your own, for example, but your leadership style is kind of a game changer, is what I hear for that particular team. Yeah, I would say it kind of goes along with the previous thing we were talking about, the King of Swords, reading, what was that, the second key moment, where you learn a lot through your experience, right? So this could be part of that. I'm not really sure what comes before or after, but really plays, there is a tying in together with that. You learn from each other as well, whoever you work with. You're mutually beneficial, you have different skill sets, different strengths, and you respect one another because of it. We have the Ten of Cups, so absolutely you're feeling excited and very happy with where you are in this phase of life. You will recognize this because, yeah, you will probably have a partner that you are very passionate about. That is also likely if you're looking for a partnership. If you already are in a relationship, this indicates that you might be co-creating something together, and you're experiencing a lot of bliss and joy in this phase. You might decide to have a family as well. If this is not about business, another alternative is wanting to have a next generation, and that 10 of Cups, that level of fulfillment, might come from a family situation here. Ace of Wands, Daughter of Cups, or the Page of Cups indicates new things and newborns and innocence as well. So lovers, could be you and your partner decide that perhaps it's time to invite the next generation in. And the Three of Pentacles then indicates that you're making sure that you have your resources straight, and that you have sufficient space as well, for example, your living conditions and so on, to be able to support whatever new life you bring in. And like I said, it applies to creative projects too. Either way, you're very excited about this, and it brings you a lot of joy here. And of course, that type of, I think the key moment over here is not really the conception point, but the decision to make a conception happen. Okay, the decision to have a business, the decision to have a child. That is more of the key moment that's coming off as a highlight, instead of the birth itself, which was there in some other pile. But yes, okay, let's see some more cards, see what else comes up. King of Wands, please clarify that. You're kind of taking charge, even whichever way, whichever circumstance you're resonating with more. It can also be both, by the way, like you're feeling autonomous in your workspace or your business, and then you decide that it's time for something new here. Yes, all right. We have, what's your honest truth? Yep, you're following your heart, you're being honest with yourself. Ace of Wands and also the Page, because they're so new and innocent, it's really hard to hide behind complications because there is none, right? So it's either, it's sort of the my way or the highway type of behavior, like it's either right or it's wrong, it's either there or not, you're either in it or you're not. Like that's it. There's not really that much gray area. I think you're taking yourself in such a light, you're taking your decisions seriously. I really like the imagery of the King of Wands here, mainly because of the expression. The sincerity is like very high level. In the other decks, I see him more described as a very charming individual who gets his way because of his charisma. But in this one, it's more like because he takes action. You know, he's not sitting there dreaming and fantasizing and letting moments pass by. But he's like, if this is true, it's true. What are you thinking about? There's nothing to overthink. Let's go for it. It's that proactive attitude that actually gets him the success. And that obviously has to come with some sort of fearlessness as well. So what's your honest truth is so on point with that regard. You know that fear is not you. It is arriving when you're on that brink of making a big decision. That's when the fear comes in, because it's not used to this. It's not used to it, and that's it. That's the only reason that it comes. It wants to preserve what has always been. We have Get Back to Elemental. Literally all three piles have gotten this. At some point or the other. Jeez. Okay, so Get Back to Elemental talks about dealing with the basic things, taking care of your finances, your health, your diet, your resource, your energy, things like that. We also have Feed Your Artist, so yeah, the creative force is really coming out strong. You might have a creative business, or it can talk about this conception, deciding to create a life as well. That can be a very big thing. And Get Back to Elemental in that way is basically about combining DNA, right? That's the most elemental of things. I'm also getting that you are Let's take the professional example here, that you're taking on a new team and you are a leader, and you see that it needs a little bit of a fine-tuning, or maybe a switching up of the roles or responsibilities of each person, and you might feel that you have a different vision, so you have to implement that from the ground up. But you have a lot of support in people who are encouraging you and also are hopeful for the vision that you have, so they're willing to help you out through this process. And you take that promise to yourself, or that vision that you had, very seriously. So that follow through is really strong. The idea itself makes you happy, and so does the follow through. Okay. Yes, you're using all of your resource wisely. You're not wasting anything. Not any moment, not any energy, nothing. You're just so laser focused. If you want something to happen, you just make it happen. And the feed your artist is a very nice balancing influence here. If you are already in a partnership, the lovers can indicate that your partner is a balancing influence for you. They could be an artist, and that is taking off for them, and that is helping you feel a little bit more liberated, or it can be vice versa. You're the more artistic one, and your partner could be very prominent or rising up in their leadership. So it gives a lot more flexibility to what both of you can afford individually and together, and the liberation that you feel in your individual lives and also in your relationship as well. There is a sense of spark and emotional connection that is also here. So if you don't have a relationship, this would be a key moment that you are attracting or manifesting your soulmate, your partner, and you're building a very cooperative union. You see, once again, that you are different people, but at the same time you have so much in common that it just makes a lot of sense. It fits very well together. In the fundamental topics, such as your belief systems, your root values, what your lifestyles are, or how you can cultivate a certain type of lifestyle together, there are some commonalities over there that makes this relationship a lot more secure. Okay, all right. Now the fifth one, wow. Okay, so we have the 10 of Pentacles. So having the family, having your own family, establishing your own roots, or having a family home. That's another key moment. Very memorable, very memorable. Okay, let's clarify this. And this includes as well your business or your career. You've built something really strong. You can trust in the foundation, you can trust in its growth. It's very sustainable. You've not overextended or overpromised in any way, so you can keep doing it forever and ever. There is strong momentum. People already recognize you. You have good reputation. Yes, what else do you need? Your generations are set. Very nice. Let's clarify this, please. Get some more details on the 10 of Pentacles for pile 3. We have the Fool. Yes, okay, so the birth of a child. This is quite literal here. Or it can be embarking on a whole new journey. Perhaps like having a home itself is like a very big thing for you. So in that case, it's like a brand new journey. It's very exciting and gives you a lot of security, even if it's a new thing, right? We have the Four of Swords. You can be in peace. You are feeling fulfilled. You feel as though bliss is right here and right now. There is no franticness anymore. Also is a symbol of innocence. I'm really gonna say childbirth, okay? I'm just gonna go with that example for this one. If you absolutely do not want children, yeah, perhaps this particular pile is not going to be fully resonating with you anyway, so maybe there are other choices you can make, but these two cards with that is just quite literally, family. But let's see what else we get. We have the King of Swords coming up, tying that together. So this can relate with your business or your career opportunities, your prowess as well. That you've done enough, you're feeling very wise, you're more capable, you can deal with a lot, you can manage a lot of things, so it's time to embark on this new chapter. Be a guide, be a mentor to someone else. Wow. Let me shuffle a bit more, it didn't fall out. We have the Five of Swords. Okay, and one more. We have the Emperor. Being in charge of the land. That's the quote I'm hearing. Being in charge of the land. Owning something. Yeah, you're kind of owning something here. Owning land, house, other properties. And that makes you feel very secure, actually. I'm curious about the Five of Swords. Let me get these cards and then we'll talk about it. We have Welcome the Divine Masculine, which corresponds with the Emperor. So there's a lot of things to do. I think that's what this phase is about. But it's not a major arcana, so it's not like forever and ever you're stuck in a similar phase or something. It's still very profound and major, but like, for example, we go with the childbirth incident. Your child is not being born for 9 months, right? It's being created for 9 months, but then once it's born, and then now it's time to kind of take care of the other details. So it's sort of that moment where you're like, oh my god, there's a rush of emotion and this is like a whole new beginning, but you know what, I got this. I have to ground myself and come back to reality, take care of the logistics of things. How can we take care of everyone's health and manage work? How much time can we get off work and things like that. There could be a lot of communication that goes on leading from that point, but it's still a very, obviously, it's still a very exciting thing that's going on here. You're establishing roots, you're making space for a new generation. It can also be that you are mentoring someone within your workplace to take on your role, but you're still the patriarch energy. It doesn't matter whether you're a male or female. It's patriarch energy, is being the structured one, being the one that leads through action, establishes the rules and the regulations, things like that. Also is the more kind of energetically driven, not emotionally driven. Okay. Also, there's a lot of logic going on here, so you have that patriarchal energy going on here. So people would still look up to you. So even if you train someone else, or let's say you're teaching your child something, they're still looking up to you because you clearly know more, you're a lot more experienced, and so on. We have stop, drop, and ground, which again, that is the realistic nature to things. And I really like seeing this sapling over here, which indicates that the ground is very fertile and it is very supported and nurturing, so we can have room for one more. We can grow some more and have the forest become a lot more lush. Let's grow a strong new generation, things like that coming through here. Yeah, that's a huge moment for you guys. One more, please. One more. Feeling settled. Yeah. Even if, let's say, you're just buying a house and that's it, you don't want children ever, like that's not in your plans at all, and this can be that you feel very settled and established by having that sort of home. It could be exactly what you wanted, and there could have been some defeats along the way, like certain homes were not approved for you or something of that sort, certain career choices did not work out, things like that, but you learned really well from those things and you came out even stronger, right? I'm looking at these trees here, and sometimes trees, certain branches need to be cut, and that's to maintain the health of that particular tree. It needs to grow new, otherwise what remains can get infected, or it can take up a lot more space such that it damages its surroundings and so on. So I feel like certain ideas or plans that did not work in the past were very vital and necessary for the creation of the person you become, and you're very happy with the person you're becoming here. So this feeling of settledness itself, whatever that means for you, is a very big key moment for you. You have a lot of wisdom by this point, by the way. So it can be, again, experience-based or age-based, when exactly this is happening. But either way, when you're ready, you're ready. It's that type of vibe coming through. You know when it's time. Is something I hear. And we have shift the way to new potential. Absolutely, that's the card number 0 with the Fool. So you're ready for something new here. It can be that you went somewhere, you decluttered the processes, you did what you could, everything is automatic now, everybody knows what they're supposed to do. So now you don't have too much going on here, so you can take a break and collect your thoughts and then begin something new. Right, that is also possible, that you're done with the place you were working in and you start shifting to another place and you find that you have a lot more sense of community in that new place. But the people from your previous phase in life, they don't forget about you. They still reach out to you whenever they are dealing with certain things. So there's a lot of respect and honor that comes in this phase of life here. Okay, now let's see your astro dice. Anything else you need to know about the key moments in life? Please, pile 3 viewers. 4th house, Scorpio and Pluto. Yeah, see, there is a change in the home and family. There could be a relocation. Perhaps your citizenship is changing as well, if that applies. Pluto is like a huge change, so it's Scorpio, it rules it. It also talks about a deep inner power, deep inner awareness as well, where nothing phases you, nothing shakes you. You know, this can initially come from a place of detoxification, letting go of destructive thought patterns and so on. But by letting go of that phase, you're ready to embark upon a new one. So you don't repeat old ancestral karma or family karma. You create your own things. You create a sturdy foundation and you empower all the people that come towards you. And that's why they're kind of pulled towards you without you even kind of consciously knowing why. Well, now that you see the reading, you know why, but you know, otherwise you would not have, let's say. But there is an inherent magnetic quality about you, and your power kind of commands respect, basically. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi pile 4, welcome to your reading. We will get some key moments of your future in this reading. I'm listing 5 of them. Of course, it's not the most exhaustive list, but it will give you some detailed reading on the top 5 we can think of, or we Tarot has come up with for you. I will get you some clarifiers and also some oracle cards to get some more detail, and we finish off with some astro dice. Alright, so the first one we have here is the Page of Cups. It's going to take a while, by the way, so please get comfortable. We'll get a lot of details, just some deep dive into this whole list here. Okay, so Page of Cups. Let's clarify, please. So the first key moment we're seeing here. And by the way, they're not in sequence of their occurrence, so it can be at any point in time. But these are just some pivotal moments here. Now, the Page of Cups is a minor arcana card. That indicates that something might happen very quickly, but it leaves a long-lasting impact. So whatever this key moment is, it's not a long-term situation, but a feeling you get or an epiphany you have, an intuitive nudge and pull that just leads to something a lot more. Okay, Ace of Cups, then we have the Queen of Wands. Let's clarify a couple more, please. Page of Cups. Pile 4 viewers. Let's clarify the Page of Cups. First key moment. 2 keep coming out, so I'm just going to take it. We have the Queen of Cups coming up next. 2 queens. We have the 5 of Wands and 1 more. Okay, we have the 4 of Wands. Very nice. This looks like you're creating some type of opportunity for yourself. You're in charge of something here. There is also a lot of passion and joy in this moment. So this creation could be a form of stability with a partner that is very exciting for you. You might have some like disagreements about like the logistics of things, or perhaps picking the furniture, for example, or deciding on the details of this type of achievement here. But it's the good kind of argument. You're like doing something together still, and it's very exciting to work on this together. We do have two queens over here, one wands and one cups. So someone could be a fire sign, someone is a water sign, but there is a very strong friendship or a relationship here with the Ace of Cups. There's a lot of support coming through as well. You could be going through this phase where you're understanding yourself, you're exploring new opportunities, new doorways. And these two queen cards indicate that you are protected along your journey as you discover more of you. Okay, and because you're embarking on this new path, it seems very surreal is what, yeah, that's I think the best word here. It feels surreal because this doorway is a brand new opportunity and something that makes your heart really happy. So you don't mind if it requires a little bit of effort, or it requires some preparation, some strategy beforehand. You're willing to do all of those things. And by the way, you do have support throughout this process, so you're not alone at any point. But you are very happy to be doing something that makes your heart happy here. And this can be related to something artistic or creative, intuitive practices as well. Some type of healing modality, for example, could be part of this if you're not resonating with the relationship situation. But if you are wanting a relationship in the future or deepening your bond in some way, then yes, this indicates that you are creating something more long-lasting. There's also a lot of harmony between the two of you, so this conflict card does not bother me at all. It's just for the first time you're moving in together, so there's bound to be some types of readjustments on both sides, right? So it's kind of that. All in all, it's a very optimistic and hopeful situation here. So let's clarify with some more oracle, please, for the Page of Cups. First key moment that we're seeing here for pile 4. Okay, one more. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have raw intention with card number 22, which correlates with that partnership situation that we were talking about. But it also connects with utilizing all of your resources, your skills, and your intention to create something happen out of your intention. So you make the potential very real, but you utilize that potential very consciously. So the Queen of Cups, Page of Cups, and the Queen of Wands can indicate manifesting abilities. So you are the one who's creating this life for yourself. That's why I said, if you want relationship, so be it. If you want career advancement, so be it. You know, whichever way it is, you are the one who's manifesting it into your life. And the journey along the way has required some type of adjustments, but you don't mind that. You believe that those obstacles, so to say, is bringing you more in alignment with what you are actually trying to cultivate. So you don't see it as a negative thing. This positive thinking ability is kind of one of your favorite moments here, because no matter what happens, you turn it into a gift here. Okay, so in this context, I like that it's not a major arcana, because sometimes it means that once you learn the lesson, it is done with major arcanas. But minors are, you have a realization and then it is up to you. You can incorporate it forever. You can let go of it whenever it makes sense for you, you know? So I really like that we got that there. Okay, then we have You Are Living Poetry. Yes, this is that artistic, creative, and spiritual vibe that I was getting earlier. So yes, you could be expressing yourself more freely, more openly, and you're not holding yourself back. although if this is kind of a business side of things here, then Five of Wands can indicate that there's quite a bit of competition here. There could be one other talented person or space, some type of venture here that is playing a role, but the way that you conduct yourself versus how this competition does is quite different, and it is this difference that is going to make both of you kind of stand apart, but in very different ways. So the competition itself does not make sense. If you already have a competition or you see yourself having one, perhaps you have a competitive spirit, this indicates that you will become friends with a competition or a competitor, right? Not that you don't see them as a competitor, you absolutely respect their skills and so on, but you're also making peace because you're just very different from one another, so you respect each other's space and you kind of have this mutual kind of dynamic here. So yes, you're both still very independent and you do things your way and you are very honest with you, and so is this other person. You can work together if it comes to it, but both of you are kind of strong personalities or you're quite different and you might not work very well together, so you keep your spaces basically. This is in a business or a platonic sense, what I'm saying here now. But apart from that, you could be getting very emboldened to express yourself in different ways, such that you're expressing your inner truth, and that brings you a lot of success and takes you out of some inner turmoil as well. Writing poetry or essays or any stories, for example, that could be a way that you process conflicting emotions or kind of manage different types of activities that you have going on, kind of gets your life more organized here. Then we have the good kind coming through, which is always nice to see. You're feeling optimistic and good about where you're headed. You see promise for the future, and you're enjoying the current moment as well. It's just a moment of peace, but not too much that it becomes a little bit boring, right? There is a bit of a tiff going on here and there. It's more of an excited spark is what I'm getting, instead of a combative energy. So it's still very peaceful, very loving. Okay, so your second key moment we have is the Five of Wands. This indicates that competition and conflict as a card, but it can also talk about you having a lot of energy that wants to be utilized in a certain direction. So this surge of energy could be the key moment here. So I want to see what's exactly going on here. Let's describe this. Five of Wands, please, is the second key moment. Okay, we have the Seven of Wands. Let me put this right there. Seven of Wands. Then we have the Hierophant. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Wow, we have the Tower. Three major arcana for this minor arcana. All right. Okay, then we have the World. 4 out of 5 major arcana clarifying this. Okay, cool. So this talks about you winning over your competition in one short look. Okay, it looks like you're wiser or more experienced. You might be well traveled, more diverse, or by the time you reach this point of winning, you will have gathered a lot of experience and knowledge along the way, and you're translating all of that into living, breathing, practical wisdom. That takes you up to a whole other level. You have some guidance to offer, to give other people, and you can have a life-changing experience on someone else, right? The advice you give might be just what the other person needs to get out of a sticky situation. Seven of Wands indicates that you're obeying your inner self. You follow your gut instinct and you're very empowered. Like I was saying, there is an upsurge of energy here. The Tower indicates that, so does the Seven of Wands, and the lightning behind the Hierophant here suggests that as well. So What you do with that energy is absolutely going to depend on you, your free will, and the circumstances you're dealing with. But bottom line is that you are making the most out of those things. Okay, at first it might feel a little bit strange to have so much stamina, so much like insight, awareness, and so much desire to move in a particular direction, but that is coming through for a purpose, because there is a new beginning waiting for you. A chapter is needing to be closed. You are still regarded very highly in whichever area of life this is talking about. I'm mostly feeling in terms of career, but also the general public. Like, are you a person who people generally come to for advice? Then yeah, it could be just that lifestyle. So something is closing out, and you will recognize that when you feel a certain hesitation or a block, like you've had enough. And I feel it is mostly internal, and you recognize it already. Like, you might feel a little bit burnt out, or you feel as though you don't want to keep pushing in that particular direction. You want a different type of inspiration here. But this happens after you've already triumphed over your competition. All right, so nothing stands in your way if you keep wanting to pursue that particular path. But it looks like this key moment is the recognition that you want something a little bit different. Perhaps you don't want to keep fighting for what you have. Like you're done with that, right? You've learned whatever you needed to learn, and you've gathered what you needed to, but you want to grow even more. You want to see new things, perhaps even travel the world. So you have gathered a lot of resources to be able to do that, and now it's time to make that change. So gathering more awareness, getting more diverse, learning different languages perhaps, seeing different places, experiencing different things. That's what I'm getting here. And Five of Wands in that situation does not need to get structured, right? Sometimes a little bit chaos is very exciting. We don't know everything yet, and that can be exciting and also terrifying at the same time, depending on what is going on in that point in time. But in this situation, it feels like you want to go for something else, and that is in conflict with where you are in this moment. And that leads to that breakthrough point with the Tower, where you're forced to make a change for yourself. It's very fortunate. I feel like this is going to be a little bit of an external situation. For example, you are already doing quite well in whatever you're doing, and then there is a new competition, and you're like, again, like, I don't want this anymore. It can be a little bit externally triggered, but it is anyway pushing you towards greater forms of personal prosperity and growth. So with the same prosperity, we have this card, Prosperity Sisters, are happiness and joy. So beyond this point, you're absolutely finding a lot of fulfillment and happiness with this travel plans, or you might be enrolling in college once again, learning something new. You can even be graduating if you're in that stage of life. And it can be that situation, by the way, you're just at the top of your class and everybody wants to be competing with you, but you just stay true to what you're doing and you just pass, and maybe you just switch fields later on because you're intelligent enough to take up a new field. It could be playing out that way as well, by the way. But okay, let's go with, but regardless of what the exact circumstance is, there is a lot of happiness and joy you find in the change itself. The change is exactly what you need in that time. And you, the muse, indicates that you become a role model of sorts by doing so, or by embracing that particular change. Other people in your position might not be able to handle it so well. So you are in a place of guiding someone else if they need to go through with this. It can even be that you get into a tough into a university that has some tough requirements, and then people want to know how you did it, for example. Okay. What else? A lot of circles going on for you. Yeah, this is like a cycle. We did have the Five of Wands before as well. Perhaps you attract kind of some competition around you for some reason. They have some competitive spirit, or you could have the competitive spirit, so you attract competitors. Yeah, there is kind of a breakthrough from that cycle. At some point you just like, I'm over it, you know, it's not worth it. I just want to do what I want to do, and that's it. I don't need competition to thrive. I know I'm good enough. I know that I'm capable. I know I'm skilled, and now it's time for me to get curious. So even if you're taking up a leadership role at the end of this here, you're still learning a lot of new things that break you out of a previous pattern. You're now more responsible in this situation with the Creator Earth. You're taking care of your finances by yourself. You are managing your other resources. You are very careful about where you put your attention. If you don't enjoy doing something, then there is no point in making space for that, when you could be making space for something you actually do find worthy of your focus. And you are in a position to make that distinction here. In some cases, if you resonate with the graduation example, then the Five of Wands can indicate that you're competing, you're giving it all you got to get a job, for example, or to get a financial source of your own. You might be taking matters into your own hands in that way. So yes, you might have some competition, but as long as you keep doing what you're doing, you find great fulfillment and great success. And there is a breakthrough along the journey, and a constant cyclical evolution is something I hear. There is an upward spiral for as long as you don't give in to the negativity. So keep doing what brings you happiness and joy, because prosperity follows that. Okay, now the third highlight, or the third key moment we have, is the Knight of Pentacles. This is quite hardworking, very determined, dedicated, focused, stable, reliable. It takes things step by step, goes at it one by one, doesn't rush anything, but it definitely is always taking action. Let me see, what does this indicate? Let's clarify the Knight of Pentacles, please. Okay, we have the Six of Cups. Okay, let me see what else. We have the Chariot. The Chariot has been coming up for all the piles, I think. We have the Six of Swords, yeah. We have the Page of Cups. And we have card, please. One card. Yes. Okay, we have the High Priestess. Very interesting combinations. We have two sixes going on, which indicates more harmony. There is a streamlined focus going on here, and there is a spiritual purpose to this phase. I think you're discovering, or you're starting to live your spiritual focus, or spiritual purpose, and you are speeding along really quickly. You might be discovering or returning to some childhood hobbies or desires here, and you're making that, giving it an opportunity to come back. This can be an intuitive work field, or it can be creative as well. What else? Let me get these, and maybe more will start flowing. We have Stop, Drop, and Ground. Okay, so you're giving a bit of a practical grounding or space, a potential to grow for your ideas. You're creating a space for them instead of ignoring them or saying that, nah, it won't amount to anything anyway, so I'm just not going to try. It's going to take way too long, so I'm not going to bother. None of that. You're just making space and letting it grow. That's a key moment here, when you decide. It's so decisive, this particular card. Also the others. one more, please. And it also says ambush fear with your ferocious dream. Yeah, very strong stability. This is the time when everything else is stable enough that you can grow yourself. I keep coming back to the High Priestess. It feels as though you're convening with your spiritual side. Let me just get that. Okay, we have, what do you really want? Yeah. This looks like a time of, you've taken a major choice or major decision has been made. And now you're following through on that. So the follow through part is a key moment for you. You do this every day and you move along quite quickly, even though on the surface or to the outside world it might feel, actually to yourself it might feel like you're not moving so fast, but you're actually moving quite quickly. You're getting a lot of downloads or intuitive nudges and feelings that come in that kind of guide you as to which way you need to go next. It's not like instructions that are being fired to you, but it comes in the form of feeling. You might feel a sense of nostalgia, for example, or a feel-good vibe. You just feel comfortable. That would be your space. Those would be your people. That would be the direction. That's how the feeling is coming through. And keep repeating that because it's very important here. That's what leads you to a lot of willpower. You don't give up on certain things because you go after or go based on that feeling. The Chariot as well is connected with Cancer, and that is a water sign. It's also cardinal. It keeps taking action, but it follows its feelings. This can be you providing a stable foundation for yourself and your family members as well. Having a stable career or creating a stable career for yourself. Doing something that you enjoy. And if the business or the career thing resonates with you, this is you establishing it. And you're still taking leaps and bounds ahead, even when things are stable enough. Like I was saying, you don't let your fears hold you back. You make space for the things that are important for you. You're not responding to fear. That's like such an important thing, really, right? And it can also indicate with the 6 is that you're moving on or you're harmonizing the difficulties and traumatic events from your past or any emotional attachments that have been detrimental to you in the form of creating more fear or more insecurity or diminishing your worth in any way. This can also indicate you're very motivated to create long-term financial growth and success for you and just a stable foundation on which you can feel secure. Because you have some, with the Chariot coming through, that's indicating some type of travel plans. I think we saw that earlier in the first key moment, I think. Yeah, but even over here it can talk about revisiting something. This one is more of an emotional travel though, I have to say. Spiritual and emotional travel rather than physical. But it might be a jog down memory lane, for example, quite literally. Or it can be, yeah, I'm getting that you're reliving certain memories, but somehow you remember certain details very vividly. And that is a very pivotal moment for you because you didn't remember it before. And you're surprised that you now have access to new details. And for a moment, it feels as if you have made it up in that moment. But when you ask someone who was there with you in that scene, could be a parent, could be a friend, they kind of verify that as being correct, or it could jog even their memory here. That's a very specific message I get, but yes, that's also here. You might feel like you're making up certain memories, but it's really you remembering even more clearly because there's something that was suppressed before and it needs to be worked through because it's evolving, it's moving on. You are raising yourself to another stage. and anything that does not work in that manner it's time for it to go, right? It's just done. Now with the what do you really want, the decision point that we were talking about, it can be about, do you want to stay in the past or do you want to move to the future? If you're not able to make a decision, the Chariot and the Knight of Pentacles can indicate a temporary standstill, but that standstill is still purposeful because they are action-oriented cards. So in that moment, you're actually convening with your spiritual side and your emotional self. Because if it doesn't make sense with all of you, then why would you, move away from your comfort zone? That could be a reasoning. Or if a brand new thing doesn't make sense, that perhaps it's a bit too risky than what you're looking for. So the choice-making procedure itself is going to be profound, because that's when all these memories come in. And there can be some connections from the past as well, coming into kind of, I'm not going to say check if you're over it or not, but I'm not going to say check, but it just comes in and you discover that you're done with that. It's time for you to go to newer spaces. So ultimately the choice that you're making is to move forward in the relatively scary but more fulfilling direction. And it's scary only because you've not experienced it yet. But, the past was inexperienced one time as well. So that's not really a reason to hang back and do nothing, right? So what do you really want is making a pivotal choice for yourself. And you're not giving into your fears. So awesome. Then we have the 10 of Wands coming up as your fourth key moment here. This can indicate that you have a lot of responsibility and you have a lot of work as well. So if you're looking for work, this is absolutely amazing. This can also indicate that many people are wanting your attention over here. Let's clarify. See what this means. Let's clarify the 10 of Wands, please. Okay, let's see what they have. We have the Devil coming through. Yeah, absolutely high reputation going on here. And we have the 2 of Wands. And we have the 9 of Wands. 9 and then 10. All right, then let's see what else. We have the Queen of Swords. There is something different about your pile. So far, I think, in your reading itself, I'm getting the images of the moment before something happens as being key moments. I'm not sure why. Perhaps you don't like decision making, or there's too much that goes into it, or there's something there where the moment before, maybe because the excitement, the adrenaline and all of that, the nudges and things like that come a little bit before the actual event happens. You could be a relatively more sensitive person, so you can sense all of these vibes before anything occurs. So even for this one, I'm getting that you're about to make a change. Something is done. You're about to make a change. It's very important for you because you want to feel light and creative. While you are very much wanted, you would rather be a little bit more free, it seems, with the 2 of Wands and the Page of Wands. But you have gained a lot of experience in something. For some reason I'm getting burnout from corporate type of vibe, and then you decide to go do something else. And the transition or the decision itself is a little bit pressurizing because you have to think of a lot of things. and you have to be rational about things. Perhaps the rationality is why you have stuck with this particular scenario for some time. But after the Ten of Wands, it's time to kind of make a change. And the change is towards something more exciting, where you can still use your experience, but you climb a little bit higher, but you don't have as much pressure in terms of your deliverables or obligations. Okay, let's clarify just in case. We'll get some more information now. We have light in the unexpected, which is the Tower card. Okay. Yeah, see, I told you, this is like the moment of change. Yeah. And the moment right before. For some reason that's coming out for you. Okay, we have follow through as well. Or is it that you find the moments when you deal with a certain fear, or you don't respond to a fear, more triumphant than the thing you receive? Maybe that's how you perceive things. You know what? You let me know. I'm really curious. Okay, one more, please. And we have changes. Yeah, see, there's definitely changes incoming. Talked about this. Very interesting for it to show up. So literally, very nice. You're breaking out of your comfort zone, okay? That's what this is. And the moment you do that, it's just life-changing for you. You're excited for everything that is about to begin. Of course, there is a little bit of that hesitation before you take a leap of faith of, I've worked so hard, I've built all this, and is it worth leaving this behind, or things like that. And logically, this might not make sense, but logically, I can also strategize for the new thing. So, I have enough experience, I have enough skills, and I have a lot more to explore, so let's go for it. It's kind of that vibe coming through, and that decision is very exciting. It's exhilarating. With the light in the unexpected, it's the Tower vibe, right? It's like all of a sudden you have this epiphany, you have this idea, and you're like, okay, I need to make a change like right now. And you need to follow through with it, make the change, but okay, when it comes to execution, it might not be that rapid, but the flash, the idea, it comes in very instantly. When you know that time's up in a certain place, and that knowing is life-changing, and then you're like, okay, now I have to look for something else, I have to start making something else. You start making your strategies to get out of a rut or get out of a messy situation. Not really messy, but messy for you, because you're not growing much and you have a lot to deal with, something like that here. Okay, before you're following through with that nudge, you're not ignoring that, you're not doubting that in any way. The fear is only about the execution bit and how the future would pan out, but not really about the change itself. You know that it's the right choice, so you're not afraid to make that change alone. You're breaking out of your comfort zone, we talked about that, and by doing so you're regenerating yourself. It's as though you become a child once more. You're ready to explore, you're curious again. It feels like, okay, it's the first breath you're taking, the first time you have gotten out of the world, outside of something that you're used to. It feels as though, I'm not saying that that's the case literally for everyone, but yes, it definitely feels like it. Wow, really strong. Then we have the Ace of Wands coming up as your fifth key moment. Lovely. That indicates a burst of passion. Let's clarify, because that can mean a couple of things. Yeah, we have the Sun. This can indicate a conception, by the way, if you want children in the future. And we have the Three of Cups. Okay, this is a lot of fun and a lot of joy. This can indicate creating a new memory. We have Ace of Swords, having a wonderful conversation with some close friends. Let's see, one more card, please. We have the Five of Cups as well. And we have the Hanged Man. All right. So this is talking about anything that has felt stuck in a rut. That is no longer the case with the Ace of Wands. In this new moment, in this new phase, you are able to decide for yourself who you want to talk to, where do you want to go, who do you want to connect with, how much time are you wanting to spend active, verbally or non-verbally, and how much time would you like to spend by yourself. There is some contemplation that is going on here as a part of your life. Perhaps you're incorporating some meditative practices and it brings you a lot of benefits here, a lot of clarity as well. There might be some difficult emotions from the past that are getting solved, but as you do them, you feel so much lighter and lighter and lighter progressively. We have two aces here, which indicates a completely new beginning. With the sun here, it's a very positive and expansive new beginning. There can be a lot of clarity that comes in. Even with the conversations with your friends, you learn a lot about yourself and also through other people based on what experiences they have gone through. It's just a new perspective you can discuss with one another here. And these new perspectives lead to a new beginning here. And whatever new thing that you attempt, you have a lot of support in this key moment. Let's see some more. Okay, all right, that was quick. We have feed your artist, we have the spark of hustle, and we have creator alchemy. This might be coming after that transition situation that we saw, because you're doing something that makes your heart happy. And again, this can be artistic, creative, or intuitive, humanitarian as well, where you have to connect with people. And that makes you happy. It could be that with the Five of Cups, you listen to other people's difficult stories and emotions and you help them work through it. So like a counselor, for example, it's also possible. And you're working very hard towards this, so you're very driven and motivated to create something out of this. And you're not really catering to the fears and insecurities. You're just having a lot of fun in this new phase of life, and you're taking at it one step at a time. You're not rushing anything, any process. You're respecting everyone's and every thing's time and space. Now, the creator alchemy indicates that your experiences so far are going to be very useful to you in creating this regeneration. We did see regeneration with the changes, where you become new again. And this is kind of a carryover of that vibe. Some issues from your inner child, from your childhood self, that can come up here for cleansing. But apart from that, everything else is just... And while it is cleansing, you can feel it cleansing, really. You're not sitting in the sorrow or anything. You know, you're watching it pass by, you're processing it, and you're clear and ready to go. So there can be some healing in a physical sense as well, especially if you have some chronic issues. But apart from that, it is utilizing all the experience you have so far and helping other people. I'm going to say other people, okay, because we have the Three of Cups. Yes, so some sort of consulting or counseling or healing, something like that could be going on here. And that makes you very happy here. The Hangman connects with the Pisces energy, so that is also energy healing. Or again, you might be a sensitive person, so you sense and the difficulties before it becomes conscious in the other person as well, at least in this point here, and you're able to help preemptively if they're open to it, obviously. But the moment they ask for help, you know how to heal it, how long it would take, things like that. And I feel a very genuine vibe here. The sun indicates that you're being very honest. So is the Ace of Swords. You're just expressing very honestly to your people what is going to happen, how it's going to feel, or how it can feel, and you're walking them through the process. You can understand if anyone's nervous, things like that. There's a very calm but motivating persona about you here in this particular key moment especially. The 60, I'm looking at the 60. That indicates that you have a new way of connecting with people as well. There can be new friends that you're making by doing whatever it is that makes your heart happy. And as you delve more and more into your passion, more and more people you connect and communicate with. Yes, and this new thing could be quite different from what you're accustomed to, but somehow there is a crossover of your skills and talents. Okay. Very nice. Okay, let's see your astro dice. Pile 4, please. Anything more we need to know about their key moments in their future? We have North Node, 4th in Cancer. Okay, so the previous one we had, right? The third key moment, yes. Maybe you can go backward if you want to, but the third key moment was the Knight of Pentacles. We had the High Priestess, we had the Chariot as well. So that's literally all this is talking about. There can be some changes in terms of your home and living situation. You could be building your own home, by the way, and that takes quite some time too, but you're putting in the effort every single day, you're monitoring it, you're watching its progress, things like that. It's an everyday thing, but it takes a little bit of time to show full fruition, but it brings you a lot of joy and fulfillment as well, right? There is, like I said, there's a spiritual component to this. Your inner self is nudging you and you're responding to these feelings, and these feelings are very important. I told you in that in the time that I was describing that section. So that's being emphasized again, indicating that it's taking you towards your purpose. So that's, I think, the biggest key moment for you among all of this. Not that anyone is lesser or more, it's just that when the North Node topics come in, they're really pivotal times because they come straight from the soul, okay? And it hits straight into the soul. That's it. It's like zap in and out, right? It's very fateful, and yeah. It might be that you are providing for the family as well. That's what I mentioned, and it brings you a lot of fulfillment to do that. It feels like you're taking care, you're protecting, you're providing, and it gives you a lot of joy and meaning too. That might not resonate for everyone. It's a little bit situation specific. If that's something that's just absolutely not you, then it's not you, right? So take what resonates. Okay, I just want to get one more because we already saw this. Anything else that you see? We have Pluto, Scorpio, and the 4th house. Okay, we're just going to keep circulating like that. It indicates that you have a very strong personal power that is going to be unlocked at some point. And it can be, again, being triggered at the time of the Knight of Pentacles. It seems like everything kind of is conjoining in that moment there. But yes, comes through home and family, and deep transformations, purging of old karma as well. That can be referring to this particular key moment too, if you have some inner child problems or some difficulties you still deal with. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.